Oh, it is still. Oh, we're live. No, I won't say that.
It's Mick at Night. It's such a delight. Hey, everybody, it's Mick at Night. Filmed live in front of a studio audience.
Well,
That's my love of kaiju.
oh shit!
How was that?
Paul is ripping it out of the gallon.
How is that, Fireball? This is why we always have problems whenever we have ultimate fan experience.
Except I wasn't driving.
That's true. I was the one driving, and I hit a man. Welcome, everybody, to Mick at Night. It's all right. He's alive, and he knew I hit him.
Yeah, when you said shoot, it's go time. I'm so used to doing Sturdy Show that I didn't expect this to go for like another 20 minutes.
Nah, we're good. I'll keep us going. I'll keep us occupied. That's all content the wonderful people here watching at home want to see, all the entertainment, dude. So I want to give credit where credit is due, and that's to Dan the Man Master Shake for tonight's idea.
Fun idea, I think.
And I'm gonna pull it up now, and we're gonna we'll be able to talk throughout, and hang out. But I did add my own little spin to it, and I hope nobody minds. But we have a wheel of 60.
Ooh.
And how this plays out is there are questions and there are challenges.
Okay.
You do everything's absurd. Nothing's going to get you in trouble. It's not cancelable. None of that. We're just having a good old time and a lot of fun. It's going to be absurd, though.
I'm going to get canceled.
Once you turn 40, you just get automatically canceled anyway, so I'm not worried.
That's true. We're done. And I don't blame them. We should actually go live in that land where King Kong's from. That's where they should send anybody after 40.
Skull Island?
No, Island. No, in the new ones. There's another land. It's a whole other world.
I've been delving really far into Lord of the Rings lately. And I feel like at 40, we could just sail into the West, man. Just sail into the the Undying Lands.
Two kids who are nowhere near college yet. I can't go anywhere.
It's still sad though. I'd be Sam sitting there at the edge of the fucking coast, crying my eyes out.
Sorry, Paul, you got to carry it on.
Go get married, Paul. Leave me alone. Let me go on my West. The kids are your problem now. Chris Harris is here. Love you, buddy. Thank you for joining. I don't cover Jason's face. I love Jason.
No.
Yeah, bring him on the right, Mick. Can't we?
Can I bring him on the right? I don't know.
The chat, can we? I thought we could. I don't remember. It's been too long since I've actually hosted. I haven't hosted in over a year.
I forget. We'll spin it, and I'll put it in the back as we while we're waiting. So I'm going to explain the rules. So we'll each go in order. I'll spin. We'll go Paul. We'll go Jason. We'll go Dan. You can pick a question or a challenge. The challenge will come with improv. We're going to give you a scenario, and you got to improv that. You can tag anyone in you want.
Ooh.
All right. Now the questions are going to be fucking absurd and not make any sense. But if it's your question, we need a straight up answer from you. Answer as absurd as you want, but it's got to make coherent, absurd sense. Those things do not go together, but we're going to have a lot of fun, and that's what this is all about. And Dan the Man for all doing this. Let's pull it up and get it going. If you guys have got anything else you want to talk about throughout, please.
I love spinning the wheel. This is why when I gamble, I always do Wheel of Fortune on the slot.
Same. You get that bonus spin, and you're like,
yeah, the bonus.
Oh wait, I'll pick a question.
All
right, number 5.
It's almost like truth or dare then.
There. In a world where practical effects come alive, would monsters' unions demand better working conditions on film sets?
Yes. I mean, you know what I immediately thought of was Gremlins. I immediately thought of Gremlins, and so the scene in the bar. Oh, I'm trying to remember the actress's name, Mick.
They do look like they're like in Gremlins at that bar. They do look like they just got off a shift.
So, who's the female in that movie? I always forget her name.
It's Phoebe Cates.
Phoebe Cates. So, Phoebe Cates said in an interview that the floor got so bad when they had to shoot that scene 3 times, and the floor got so bad that their feet were sticking to it. And so I immediately thought of what if the Gremlins were like unionized, and they demanded that like they didn't have to put up with like putting their feet on this floor like that. This is a great question. I love this question.
This is a question now you can take monsters from all over the place and see how would you unionize for better working conditions on a film set. So let's take a world where all of the monsters we see on screen are just characters in a movie and they actually exist, right?
So one thing that I thought of too is the guy who directed The Stuff.
Larry Cohn.
Yeah, so he said he loved the fact that he could do whatever he wanted to the stuff because it wasn't a union worker. And he was like, I could light it on fire, I could burn it, I could do it. He says that in an interview on Into the Darkness, Volume 2. And like this is great. Like personified practical monsters.
I bet. Okay, so let's take this. Out of all of the monsters in a fictional world, and Jason, I want to hear from you. Which ones do you think would have the best chance at unionizing? My pick is Stephen King's monsters because they're already really well put together and organized.
I would say the Universal monsters.
They're dignified. Yeah.
Dracula being the union leader.
Frankenstein wears a suit.
He does.
Everybody's dressed in the nines except for Gilman.
Frankenstein could be the numbers guy. He doesn't speak a lot. He speaks very well.
I can see Frankenstein with like those little visors with the green plastic, and he's like pulling the thing, and he's like, like It's a Wonderful Life. Tell me that wouldn't make a fucking great like parody movie. It's a Wonderful Life, but we're following Dracula.
I like it.
And everyone like fucking
he doesn't find life, and then he finds death. That works.
Oh my God. Oh my God. He's hugging like fucking Lily Monster when he gets home and shit.
We make Ocean's 11 with the Universal monsters.
Like Monster Squad, but they're the protagonists. Nice.
I like it.
Well, actually, that makes a lot of sense because if you take the Hotel Transylvania world, very well organized. I like it. We do this question. Weirdly, we came around and we figured out movies that actually can represent it. So I'm
sticking with my Gremlins answer. So I didn't like.
I think it's a good one. The Gremlins would.
Who in the Stephen King universe though would be in charge of the union?
Oh, for
Your
Gremlins,
union president?
No, the Stephen King universe. Who would be the president?
Probably. What's his name?
Pennywise?
Crimson King.
Torrance. Oh.
Oh yeah. Or Jack Torrance.
Why not?
Jesus Christ, that'd be. Oh my God, because he's an alcoholic. He's the fucking old school union guy.
Yeah. Got to give him liquor. That's it.
Now, Paul, you said something that was interesting on that front too, because you were mentioning which monsters?
The ones from Cabin in the Woods. So just all of them, because we didn't even get introduced to all of them. But the ones we saw, I could see them being like, I need to be let out. I'm an end of the world scenario, but let me get out, X amount of time and stuff like that. I could see them unionizing.
In my contract.
Right.
Some could argue the end of that movie was them unionizing.
That's fair. But I still don't think all of them got out. Because you saw how many chambers there were, and we only saw 12 different scenarios of the monsters getting out. Like there was a lot more.
That's a good choice, Chris.
The devil, yeah.
I like what you're saying though, Paul. That is good. But I would say out of all of our choices, probably the most would be either the Universal monsters or like because it's hard because the Gremlins you really have to rein them in. Who's going to do it? Mogwai. Fucking
no, dude, Mohawk. Mohawk's got them all under.
Mohawk will just shoot people. Oh wait, that is it.
No, it's the guy from the second one. The talking gremlin would be the president.
That's true.
So there's a point in Gremlins. I know it's the holiday season, so apparently it's just on my brains right now. There's a point in Gremlins where Mohawk gets the chance to eat an apple. And it gives you an insight into like gremlin language. He grabs this apple, bites into it, and then yells the word Rafe and it says the word Rafe, R-A-I-F, at the bottom of the screen for subtitles, and he chucks the apple. Apparently, Rafe must be like, this is disgusting. I hate it. Like, if you watch the Gremlins, they actually have this level of communication in their world. And like, so my friend and I are both of us, the Gremlins is our favorite Christmas movie. And anytime we can like work it into a conversation we do, where we're just like, Rafe, like we just really hate whatever it is. We just say Rafe. People have looked at us so oddly for doing it, and we don't care because like we're 40. Who cares anymore? But like,
Right.
Rafe must be the ultimate in whatever the worst something is based on that movie.
Dude,
Just side note, absurdism.
I love it.
Embrace it.
Paul, you're up next. You want a question, or do you want a
I want a question first time around.
scenario? Okay.
I need to have a couple more drinks before I do the challenge.
I don't know if you're gonna want to do that. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got. And it is 36. You wanted a question? Let's get there. Let's see. Number 36 is: could horror movie sound designs harmonize to create a chilling symphony?
Sounds in a horror movie making a symphony, not the actual like score
Yeah,
for it.
absolutely.
Just the soundtrack.
Yeah. Just
Yeah,
the sounds from it.
Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah. I'd say
there.
Hitchcock. I'd go Insidious too. They got a lot of fun little noises, sound
Yeah.
effects that I could see making at least a decent symphony.
What you got for me, Scary Snob? You know.
What's the question again?
I love it. Did you take a gummy? I love it. 36.
Paul and I aren't even hammered yet.
Could horror movie sound designs harmonize to create a chilling symphony?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's no way you can't. Look at what fucking Nolan did with Inception.
Now,
You know, just using random ass sounds sped up or slowed down.
David Lynch uses it a lot too.
Yeah, that's
you know
true.
what
That is
sound I
true.
immediately thought of? In the 40s and 50s, that like door sound that every movie like would use. You know, like the thing from outer space, it's like
Yeah.
click,
Yep.
Yeah.
click. That was the first sound I thought of. Like kind of a synchronicity between all those sounds. I bet you can make a pretty fat beat out of them.
Oh yeah. I mean, look on TikTok of all these fucking musicians now putting together all this music with just random shit. That was a lame question, Paul. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Paul.
I like it, man. That's a good one.
No, it was good, but it was an easy one. All right. Jason. Oh no, wait. How do
Jason, yep. Jason's up.
Jason's next.
All right, Mark Summers. I will take the physical challenge.
Yes.
Oh, I fucking love it. I love
You're
it.
the guy today, Jason.
Man right there.
Double dare reference too.
Love it.
What we got? Number 19. And the challenge on this one is a DIY show on building your own lightsaber or magic wand. And you can pick anyone to help you, as many or as little as you want.
All right, DIY, I'm making a lightsaber. So, Dan, what you got to do is you grab a pencil, right? You grab a pencil, get some markers, some crayons, you color the pencil, make it look whatever your color you want as a lightsaber, and then you get some tape, you wrap it around the bottom where the eraser part is, that's your handle, and you can take it and you can beat up, you know, people. That's your lightsaber. It's called a pencil lightsaber.
That's wild.
What do you think?
I mean, hey, listen,
Jason, on the fly, you fucking knew. I love it.
I love
Love
that, dude. And I'll bet you, Jason, you did that when you were in grade school, didn't you?
No, I didn't do that. I did the so Max and I used to go to art class during our lunch breaks, and I'd make Freddy Krueger gloves or Wolverine like claws because you use the masking tape to wrap it up, and then you put the pencils between the fingers. Oh yeah,
dude. Can you create a comic book of your adventures with Max as a kid?
probably could.
That'd be a fun one. I'd read that. Oh yeah, Chris says any of the slasher sounds. Yeah, that's for sure, 100%.
I mean, that's basically how kill, 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 ma came in, right?
That's true. I mean, yeah, that question was pretty on the nose. Like, it was a good question, but it was on the nose. But all right, Daniel, that was a great job.
Let's do a challenge.
10 points to Jason. Because my points are arbitrary, but I don't care. 10 points to Jason for 20 points to Jason, 10 for doing it, and 10 for picking it, being the first to pick it.
Nice.
Now we're gonna go on. Dan, do you want a question or do you want to challenge?
Challenge.
All right, Dan.
Hey,
Look at that, man. We're coming
at the
out.
bottom.
I was the guy in middle
that,
school who
dude.
always picked Dare too. So
Of course you did. I mean, $20 is $20, Dan. I feel that.
59. I love it. All right, 59, and we're doing challenge. Oh. A cooking show where each episode features a cuisine from a different planet.
Oh, I love this. So I'd bring in my brother for sure. And the two of us, the big thing that would have to happen, Mick, is this. The two of us each have to represent a different cuisine from the planet. And we have to cite all of our nerd resources for what we're doing with it. And so whether you're talking about like Krypton, right? Or pick a planet, whatever it is, like you have to cite where Eternia. Oh my God, there's a whole cookbook guide to Eternia that's based on the 1986 live action He-Man movie. How great would that be?
You have to improv the show for us right now.
What is in your Tatooine stew, Dan?
So the big thing I would do, Eternia stew, okay? Gwildor stew, because he's my least favorite fucking character known to mankind. The key part is you have to shave that shitty ass beard off his face first and then lop his head off. You have to string him from head to toe and make sure that you flay it each individual layer, because whatever species that they made up for Gwildor that didn't exist in the cartoon prior to then, he has like at least 3 layers to be that crappy. Okay. Dang. And you got to make sure to remove the like shittiness sack as you're flaying him, because if you hit the shittiness sack, everything that makes Gwildor shitty, it's all over you. And then it's done and you can't even cook him anymore.
All right. I like it. All right. We're going to do
I love that.
Dude,
as a kid, I hated Gwildor. Oh my God. You guys remember that scene where he's like creeping up and he wants to eat the chicken wings?
Oh my God. And he does, and it's disgusting. Yeah, he's the worst. You're right. So you are getting, here's the fun part. You're getting 10 points for doing it. You're getting 5 points for being the second person doing it. And I'm going to give you an extra 2 points because I hate Gwildor too. So it's 20 points to 17 points on Dan, and Paul and I both have 5.
Oh, Paul's frozen. Paul, I thought you were frozen for a second.
Now we're going to round 2 if you're ready. Ready, Freddy. What the fuck is happening? Let's do it this way.
In the background. Right there.
There we go. Okay. So is it me? It's me.
Mick, yeah, you're up.
All right. I'll do a challenge. Everybody else did one. I'm gonna give it a try.
Yeah, I need to get the points now. I would have done challenge at the time.
Oh my God.
12.
I don't want to do this.
Damn.
Nerdy treatment there.
Wait, I gotta try and do the same. Oh, should I respin that, or should I?
Yeah,
try
respin it. You gotta hide it. Go hide choice. You can hide each time.
Good. I'll do it afterwards. If I get my peanut down, fuck.
I'm
gonna do a worse version. Like, someone watch that guy's show. Watch my show. All right, 49 is, oh God, a show that redesigns classic movie villains as heroes. Okay. All right. I can do this. I got this. Hi, on tonight on Discovering Heroes, we are bringing you a brand new villain that we're going to make over. That's right, everybody. We are welcoming to this episode one Mr. Darth Vader, aka Anakin Skywalker. We're going to bring him on. We're going to get rid of some of that black armor he wears, maybe pep it up a little bit with a little earth tones and really get it going. We're going to win back Padme for him at all costs, because I'm going to tell you right now, a makeover here is going to turn you into a hero. Or it's going to make you go from 0 to hero in no time. So thank you for joining us over here on Discovering Heroes. And next time, we're going to be working on Cobra Commander because that face shield is just hiding too much prettiness. All right. Until next time, I'll talk to you later.
What's better though,
Carson
Mick?
from,
The face shield or the like cloth?
The face shield or the cloth? I would think the cloth. It's more breathable.
I didn't understand as a kid that was the same character.
Oh yeah, that makes sense though, because it did change pretty drastically.
And I had both of the toys, and I didn't understand that they were the same thing. And like, Paul, you probably have no context for what we're talking about. I'm sorry, man. Like, the cartoon, like Cobra Commander at some point switches to, and I don't remember why, a shiny visor that goes over his whole face, and he looks like a giant helmet. But before that, it was like a cloth
with like a Cobra Commander.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like, so it kind of looked like he was like, I don't know, a little like
a ninja almost.
Yeah.
So
or ninja-ish.
Let me ask you this, because I know you guys talk a lot about this stuff, like G.I. Joe and Transformers and stuff. What's the, like, do you know why he had the two different masks, or was it just a change for toys? I can imagine that.
It's probably
gotta look it up
for toys, because there's a few of them. He had multiple masks. He had more than two.
Didn't he have like a black one with like a red? Yeah, I think he had like a black helmet with a red like stripe, and I think it was like a metal face again. I want actually, let's pull it up. Let's see what all.
Well, that cloth one was to protect himself against illness.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
wait,
essentially merchandising and marketing. He's right. Jason's 100% right.
He got me. I was like, wait, really? Did they think about that back then? Like I know they thought about masks, but I don't know. Right,
but it seriously, it just comes down to merchandising and marketing, according to the internet. Like,
yeah, it always does. They always need to change the look a little bit. Well, that's why every Transformers movie, there's some fucking difference. Paul, what do you want?
I need points. I need a challenge.
Well, I'm getting 5 points on that because I don't think I did good. So.
Nick, you got 10 points. That was good.
No way.
There you go. I thought it was good too. I'd watch that. I just hope I get something I know.
All right, 21. Here we go. Ready, Freddy?
I think so.
A historical documentary on the impact of dragons in medieval warfare. And the floor is yours. You can pick anybody else to help you.
Fuck. I'm going to pick Jason to help me as a co-host to the show, because I feel like Jason knows a little more about medieval things than I do, because I'm just going to quote Game of Thrones. Jason, what was the last historical event in history where dragons happened to help us win one of the wars?
It happened back on Asgard.
No, you know what? I'm going to cancel this, and I'm going to give you extra points if you both agree to let me tweak this a little bit.
I agree.
It is now a presidential debate, and the topic is, how are you going to get rid of the dragon mess?
Well, it's going to be very easy. I'm going to get a wall. I'm going to build it around where the dragons are. It's going to go from the bottom of the floor all the way up to the ceiling. I'm going to have the dragons pay for it. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be fantastic. I'm going to use their fire breath so they can make it even stronger. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. I'm going to have the dragons pay for it and maybe a little bit of China.
Paul, your rebuttal?
First of all, Merry St. Patty's Day to all of you Catholic people. It's been a great September 11th. You know, I'm glad we remember what's going on. I just want to say the dragons aren't that bad. You know, I'm going to get rid of them all, but I do love them.
You don't want this guy. He's a dragon sympathizer. Let's get rid of him. Get him out of the office.
All right. Dragon sympathizer one. You both did great. That was really awesome. I'm going to award 20 points to Jason, 15 points to Paul.
Come on.
That's fair.
There we go.
Of course I get less.
Well,
I got you.
I'm sorry,
it's all
man.
good.
That dragon sympathizer won it. A dragon sympathizer was just
dragon
in the head. The fact that he played the stupidity so well, he said, "I'm going to build a wall to keep the dragons out."
I said Merry St. Patty's Day. The fuck? Like, come on now.
No, that was great. I'm not taking anything away from you, Paul. I'm just saying he knew his audience at that moment.
That's fair. That
And
was
at
good.
that
Jason.
moment, building a wall to keep out flying dragons was not a dome. He didn't say dome.
No.
He said wall. All right, who's up? That was Paul. And Jason, you're next, right, buddy?
Yes.
All right, what do you want?
I'm going to take a question. Let's mix it up.
Dig it.
No whammy, no whammy.
We'll see.
17.
Ooh. Would a zombie cultural revolution demand equal rights for the undead in movies and TV shows?
Of course. The undead should have equal rights. Just because they want to eat brains for cuisine, we're going to be prejudiced against the zombies? Like, they get the...
Well, but based on what definition? They're not people.
We just let them eat the criminals. Fine. They can eat the criminals' brains. We put them in a little facility with the jails, and zombie lives matter. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, well,
Absolutely
no. Okay, so
not.
actually,
Zombies are an unlife. They don't matter at all. It's an
opposite. If when you're past life, why are we taking care of them? Why are we taking care of a dangerous element?
They still have brain activity, obviously, because they're moving around. Some of them can talk.
We're getting into a real debate here.
Yeah.
I don't quantify it as people.
I don't either. I think once you lose life, whether there's brain activity or not, for whatever reason, usually a chemical attack of our own military, or a comet passed us by, or noxious gas leaked from the earth, or something.
Leaks from underneath the funeral parlor,
or chicken nuggets.
Your wife's outside drooling, eating somebody's brain, your neighbor's brain. You want to just get rid of her? You don't want to save her?
I would tag her right between the eyes and do her a favor.
Man, the thoughts of Dan are not those of me.
I don't listen. That probably fills in a lot of blanks right there. But if my wife were suffering like that, the old 30-06, I got to dial that scope in. Maybe even use iron sights just out of like respect, because I did qualify in the United States military 40 out of 40 with iron sights at 200 yards. Just saying. Bless. So I can tag it, and I can bag it, and it's not a big deal.
I could too. I'm just gonna build a nice little like glass place, or if I was married, I put my wife in there so we could still watch the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills together.
I have a feeling like Dan,
you have to be brain dead to enjoy that, right?
That's true.
That was a slow burn, though, Jason. That was a slow burn.
I'd go Jason. I'd put someone in the shed. It don't matter if I want to keep. No, why not? No, this is what I'm saying. Shaun the Dead. I Shaun the Dead it. I can still video game with you. I don't care if you win. I get a win finally.
My only argument: there's too many people on the planet already. Now, I'm not saying like that means that we need to get rid of anybody. What I'm saying though is we don't need undead anybody's. We don't need an overpopulation.
And I don't need live people, so that it's kind of doing us a favor, like sheep with grass.
Are we talking about now? Is the zombie cultural whatever the fuck coming from the ground, reanimated corpses, or is it fresh dead like in Walking Dead? That
in my mind it's more like that PlayStation game,
Resident Evil,
The Last of Us.
Oh
yeah, Last of Us. It's like The Last of Us. And then now anytime somebody talks about zombies, because it's real, because there is a fungus that can take control of things and make it do stuff, like that's what comes to mind now, is that. So
yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, Dan,
I don't know. I don't know that I can agree with you on this one.
Haven't you seen Day of the Dead? Like, after work, you can start getting them back to some degree.
Nah.
Yeah. At what point? Because it's so much work. So it's almost like if we knew for a fact that our existence right now is definitely going to lead into something like Star Trek, right? A utopia on Earth, and we're traveling the stars, and everything is working. So and we knew for a fact that would happen. That's just going to happen, right? We have to settle with the fact that we'll never see it, though. It's cool that we know it's going to be there. We're never going to see it. We're never going to be alive for it. So my point with this is, fuck zombies.
Fuck zombies.
I don't want them living among me. They need to go. I don't care if they can be brought back. You had your chance. It's too much now. I don't want to wait for a moment where zombies are like completely back and it's just fixed. I'm not going to live in that time.
So you didn't like Warm Bodies at all? You just were like, that's not a thing.
No,
I like that movie a lot, though.
No, I like the movie. I like the concept in movies.
George is tuning in. George, thank you for tuning in to Betting Bros this week. Michigan won't let you down.
Wheel of Death. Well, what am I missing? Oh, it's going to be fun.
I've talked to George about drinks before. This is what we're drinking today, George, right here.
This is what we're drinking right here, George. LaCroix.
George is actually, I have water. George is actually doing a podcast. He has Dueling Aces, which is a sports show. And his son, his co-host son, and my son are going to be doing Dueling Aces Junior.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's going to be coming up.
Mentioned before that he has a podcast. I would have tuned in.
George has two. He has the Perfect 10 and he has Dueling Aces. It was sports and a top 10 podcast.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. He doesn't. I think he changed the Christmas episode this year because of me. I think Jason can attest to that one.
You wanted to give the Catholics a break this year. George is like, they've suffered enough over the last couple of years. I'm going to let the kids do it. You should have trained your son to bring them up.
Oh my God.
Could you imagine Tommy going on a rant about the Catholic Church on George's show?
Like every year I was on that show for the Christmas episode, I would just rally against the Catholic Church on their pedophilia. And like, he's like, we're in Ohio, dude. I'm like, I don't care. I was like, don't invite me on if you don't want me to talk about it. It was a very nowhere near as funny, but it was a very Ricky Gervais moment where it's like, why do you keep inviting this guy back if you hate him so much?
Like when the third time he hosted, and he's like, I don't care what any of you think. Like,
he's like, don't come on here and tell us about your crisis that you want to fight against. You all work for Apple.
I think the last year I did it too. I slipped it in. I started like talking about the specialty of like the nativity set or some shit, and then I slipped right into the Catholic, and you know where that came from? Like right to the Catholic Church. And what did they do to children?
Oh my God,
bless.
I'm gonna let this one go because Dan is in Michigan, and who knows what happens up there.
Oh, we have Protestants and Catholics pretty strong. I was Irish Catholic growing up. Half my family was Lutheran, which is like Catholic light, but Protestant. Yeah. Up here, shit gets wild, man. I'm going to a dinner on the 6th. This is what Catholics do in Michigan. Going to a dinner on the 6th, full bar,
yeah,
full food, and it's like catered to the nth degree, free. And they're doing a silent auction for all these different items, and I can't wait to see what the silent auction is for. I always love bidding on silent auctions.
It's a lot of it, stuff like that. Like when they do stuff like that, because I grew up Irish Catholic too in Jersey. My dad was actually a deacon for a long time, so
altar boy.
Yeah, no, like I said, you know, because a lot of people don't understand like the difference between a priest and a deacon. One has to hold the kids down, so so like when you go to things like this, Dan,
you're making the non-Catholics cringe, Mick.
Dan, you got to remember when you go to a dinner like this, you have to leave before 9:30 because that's when they start to usher in the youngins in their altar boy guards.
I will say
the monsters they are.
So we did a full Latin mass one time.
Oh,
it was a callback, full Latin. Nice, George.
Oh shit.
That's it. So
this time I know George is my friend. He still says I did a good job.
But you lost 2 followers when you ran it on about pedophilia, just so you know. I was watching that and we went, dude.
I don't care. And if I lose those followers, because either some people are going to wake up to the fact that this is a true thing that I'm saying. I'm not making this up. It is documented, and it is documented for thousands of years of what happened to children within the Catholic Church. So all I'm speaking is actual factual truth. All I'm saying is, and I'm making joke on it. Now, if the people who sign off, that's more telling to me of them.
Yeah.
Like if they're like, well, I'm offended by this, I'm like, but you're not offended with pedophilia.
Best kill in horror history.
Oh, the TV, yes. He's watching fucking Nightmare 3.
Welcome to prime time. Anyway, so when we did a full Latin mass one, it was only one time. It was the most satanic thing that I've ever heard. And it was before I understood Latin. So like I'm like 16, 15, something like that. And it was a special one-off thing that they did. Oh man, it was like, and everybody stand up, sit down, like, and I was like, I was half expecting people's heads to start spinning around and like, oh, it was nuts. It was crazy.
My son's taking Latin right now in high school.
It's a tricky language. I had to teach myself some for grad school.
I only knew what they taught us in Catholic school. Like, yeah, and I went there for 12 fucking years. So don't fucking tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. 12 fucking years.
I never went to a Catholic school. So Mick's got me on that one. I just said was an altar boy.
And I'm old enough to still have been hit by teachers. As a
the nuns didn't
small child.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate
the sound of music.
It nuns had to take it out on somebody because some sexual assault going on rampantly through the Catholic Church too.
And the hills are alive.
With the sound of children.
I'll tell you what. I hate that movie because Julie Andrews played that role. Still my favorite nun. Maybe Sally Field. Maybe Whoopi Goldberg.
Whoopi Goldberg's my favorite.
Yeah, maybe Whoopi Goldberg. She was Guinan. I have to go with it.
Oh, damn
it. Listen, and I want to be transparent. I am a faithful person. I do believe in God. I love Jesus, man. That guy's teachings are the fucking best. But fuck the church. And what I say does not mean that they agree with me. I'm just putting up the disclaimer now.
I'm not even like, if I weigh in, I will never be allowed on a show ever again. So I'm.
Oh, are you a defender?
No. Oh my God, Nick. I
thought you were a second. You're gonna be like, listen. When I was going down as an altar boy, he was very sweet and he took care of me. He was courteous and kind. No, I'm just kidding.
Listen, and I can't weigh in large part because like. It's so, I mean, it's not even controversial. It's just personal, right? Like, and like, I decided a long time ago, and this is actually why I married my wife. My wife is a very faithful person, and I went through a string of like, I was like a serial monogamist for 9 years, basically 3 girls, 9 years, and all 3 of them, I just ran like, they just switched their viewpoints to everything that I said.
Oh,
and when I left man, and when I left the last one before my wife, I said I would stop. Like my viewpoints don't require proselytation. Okay, they don't. So
yeah, they do.
No. Everybody should make up their what led me to where I am.
Proselytation.
Yeah, what led me to where I am is personal choice. And I want everybody to have that. That's what I want. I want everybody to have independent personal choice in whatever direction, whatever path, whatever like you have. I want you to have that. And my own way is not anybody else's. And that's for damn sure. Like the worst person in the world is an atheist who presents their viewpoint like it's religion.
Yeah.
If you're atheist, why are you trying to convert people? If you're agnostic, why are you trying to convert people? Why are you trying to cause any level? Faith is respectable, man. People that can look at something that they don't know and still believe, God, do I respect that?
I'll tell you what, I will say this. I respect zealots for a specific reason, is that that's what they're supposed to be. if you're a Christian or you're religious some way, that is who your book is calling on you to be. And then there's a second book that tells you don't be like that at all, but you don't listen to that one. So whatever. You just praise him, but you don't listen to him. I get it. It's so fucking odd. It's so fucking odd. We quote so many things from the first book, and the entire fucking point of the second book is to say that was not okay. That whole first part, we're gonna redo that. This dude knows what he's talking about. Listen to him. Nah, we're gonna kill him. Then we're gonna create a religion around him. Then we're gonna get rich off of him, and then fuck them all. Literally, especially the kids.
Paul,
Spin the wheel, Mick.
please spin the wheel.
Yes. Jason's. What's that thing on a fucking boat that keeps you tried and true? Yeah, that's Jason. No, like the thing that keeps you like.
I just want my turn at the wheel. I can rant about Catholicism all day.
No, once it gets to a certain point in the Catholic thing, I get it. I'll rein in. I'll rein in.
You got to be careful; they'll come get you.
I don't give a fuck. Let them try.
I'll drink to
that. I've seen the end of Godfather 3.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
The worst thing you could ever do, is take everything away from me. I promise you. Anyway, whose turn?
Master Shade.
I want a question this time.
All right.
Question.
I hope it's a religious question just out of like randomness. That'd be hilarious.
Do you think horror movie icon?
You generated all the questions. So.
All right, Dan. Answer the question as if you were Cousin Eddie.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Do horror movie quizzes have hidden jump scares upon answering incorrectly? That would be a cool fucking game show.
Dude, that'd be a great game show.
I would watch that.
I'd watch the hell out of that.
Like you have to go through a maze or something?
And it can you imagine if it was Japanese? That's my first thought.
Have you ever seen the movie Slashers?
No.
Oh my God, I'm pulling it up right now. Yeah, keep talking about it, and I'll slash.
Oh, so like the Japanese game shows take everything to the next level, right? So can you imagine a Japanese horror trivia game show?
Yes, I'm going to show you a trailer for it.
What would they do with that? Because they do some of the most interesting game shows I've ever seen. You know, generally speaking, American game shows come down to this: I want to win $1 million, right? Like that's pretty much all of our game shows as far as like. But imagine a Japanese one, and like. So every time you get it wrong, like there's an actual punishment.
Yeah.
That'd be wild.
What the fuck is it? Jeez. Oh, here we go. So this is fucking crazy. Is it on the screen?
Yep.
Yeah.
Slashers 2001. Yeah, I haven't seen this, Mick.
So here we go.
日本一のリアリティショー。億万長者になるチャンス。ただ生き延びれば良いのみ。
Do it, stay alive.
3人のスラッシャーズ。いいでしょうか。
Get ready to
do this, Mick.
Come on, Drew. You want to live?
God, get out of here! Can't save yourself!
It's showtime.
Holy shit.
He gave his life, God!
Are you sure he was dead? They'll attack for sure. No, it wasn't a laughing challenge, 30.
Oh, 5-1.
I would have been done a long time ago.
Oh, a whole lot better. Sex is rated. There are no legal rules here.
All speaking people.
The boys are in the trap!
Sassy show.
スラッシャーズが間もなくアメリカにやってきます。
Are you game?
So that was we worked at Hollywood Video when that came out. Lenny and I, my buddy Lenny and I, and he watched that movie one night, and like for fucking ever, he still did it until he died. Would rave about this fucking movie, and I'm like, and I finally watch it, maybe a couple weeks later, and I'm like, oh shit, this is fucking weird and crazy. It's a really it's a fun movie to watch. It's as a horror movie, especially a slasher, and if you watch it, watch 31, Rob Zombie's 31 after, and tell me there aren't similarities, like mega similarities.
I love Rob Zombie's 31. Like it's his second best film.
I wouldn't argue that. I liked it. Oh shit! No, we're not doing a laughing challenge. We're doing a wheel. It's a lot of fun, man. Dude, get in here.
Yeah, right.
This is, but I want to see it. I think he might be spending time with the wife, and I don't blame him.
Yeah, I think he's spending time with the wife.
I'll blame him.
Sturdy would probably give that movie a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, but he's
dude, Jason, I think you really like it, man.
He's still dragging his feet on the Freddy remake because I saw he just posted a couple days ago something that was just dragging on it. He's still dragging his feet on that, even after we had
liked
that
it too.
He posted something just like, "I'm glad I grew up, here and not here," and it showed the new Freddy, and I was like, "Wait a second!" I tagged you, Jason. I was like, "Wait a second!" I thought we all just came to the conclusion it was a 7 or an 8 out of 10, and it was okay.
Who said that? Who said that? Not me.
Sturdy. No, it's Sturdy.
I don't think Sturdy agreed on that. I think it was me and Jason came around.
Sturdy gave it a 6, I think. He gave it a 6, 5 or 6.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Cool. That's a good rating for Sturdy.
Wasn't there. It was me, you, Chris, and Jason.
No, Sturdy was there.
I thought Sturdy was there.
Yeah, it was Sturdy's show.
Maybe it wasn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm fucking high, and I think I have dementia. So, and now, but I know what I'm talking about. The Catholic.
Spin that wheel.
All right, I was laughing. Give me a sec.
Whoa.
That's why they'll never come after me. They don't give a shit. They're like, this idiot. Nobody cares. Who's spinning? Me?
You, Mick. This is you.
I'm gonna go with the question. Let's see what we got here. I'm not doing another challenge at the moment. I need to get right. Did I take that other gun?
Great.
Oh shit! Did I take that? Whoa. 53. This is not going to be good. Can international horror films initiate a cultural exchange program for terrifying global audiences? I like this question. Yes, I do think that they can. And I think an exchange program from country to country of horror icons would be amazing. And I would like to go around the room and let's think about other horror icons from other countries that would be cool to do here and who we should send somewhere else. I'll start us off to kick us off. So I think that if we were going to send anyone anywhere else, it would be cool to stick the most like American. So it would be kind of cool to stick like a Jason Voorhees in maybe Russia would be a cool one. Cause like, it would just be like a mow down. Like, how does this work out? Cause like, it's all very visceral out there a lot of times in looks and movies and stuff. So I think that would be cool. But if we were going to bring one here, I don't know what icon I'd want to bring most. That's the thing. If now, is it just horror movie icons or can we say horror lore?
Horror icon. Because I have a good answer for this. I had to look up the name of the movie again, but I have a good answer.
Then I would say if we're going to bring anyone here, I would like to see a well-told American version of Dracula, any time period. But it's the same story.
Set in the United States.
Set in the United States with the
That's an interesting narrative, though. Think about this. Like, so our version would have to be a founding father.
Oh wow. Well, it could be somebody before.
Dracula Thomas Jefferson.
Ooh. How cool would it be if like he helped shape the country all throughout?
Yep. And he was friends with Abraham Lincoln, vampire hunter.
Mine, I want to send Robert Englund to Africa.
Just the actor?
Like as an ambassador of horror, I think that he represents everything.
Oh,
like
did I read this wrong? I thought I meant the actual characters.
So I mean, like, but Freddy, basically, right? So
I gotcha. Okay. So are you kidding me?
From my background,
and you're going to send a nightmare demon?
I studied a ton about religion while I was in college. It was like low key my minor. I like it. I would love to send it because they have so many different versions in terms of their lore about dreams. Tons, okay? But there's a South African movie that I would like to bring to the United States that I watched a couple years ago called Gaia. Okay? I had to look up the name of it. I forgot. Like it won a big festival there. And like it is a great horror movie. I don't know if you guys know about like South Africa with you know the whole thing where I'm forgetting the name of it. It's not segregation, but it's like segregation. Shoot,
apartheid.
Yeah.
Everything I know about apartheid, I learned from Lethal Weapon 3.
Well, so South Africa, that's its origin. Like at one point, the Boer War in the late 20th century was like this cornerstone mark of what happened late 19th century. Sorry, late 19th century. This cornerstone about what goes on in South Africa today. Germans, all like Polish, French, British, like all this stuff. Gaia is a representation of apartheid in South Africa and a great horror movie. I highly recommend it. It's phenomenal. And I would have more Americans watch this movie because it was great. It was a great film.
But you're black. I love Lethal Weapon 2. Oh my god, so good. So I would see, I don't know if I understood the question.
Oh, 2. It was 2, not 3. Yeah.
My answer is funny, so I'm gonna say my answer. I would send Chucky to North Korea because Kim Jong-un is a little guy, so Fucky could just fuck with him for like the rest of the time he's over there before. Yeah, so that's what I would.
That would be a terrible idea, and here's my reasoning. You send him to North Korea. Chucky is crafty. He's smart and he's manipulative. He's going to take over North Korea by using Kim Jong-un as like a puppet. Like, you're doing it right. I'm going to give you all America's secrets because I know him. And like just completely take over the country and end up like bombing everyone.
I forget Chucky's a bad guy. Like,
yeah, just ask my brother who's still like terrified of him.
Do you notice like Jason strengthened North Korea, and I'm trying to tear Russia down. I love that though. That's a fun answer. That would be fun to see. Like, because he is a bad thing about Chucky.
Like this show.
Like, I would send. Well, I wouldn't want to send Freddy to North Korea because there's so many suffering people in North Korea. And he doesn't give a fuck. Neither is Jason. Neither is Michael. Like, I would want to send somebody who would really go after the bad guys. Like Godzilla. Get in there, bud. But I like Chucky, but Chucky, anywhere you send Chucky, he's going to take over. The show proves that. Everything Chucky's done proves that. He just dies because oh my god. I just thought about the implications of the Child's Play series.
I think Mick took one many gummies.
Yep. It's one gummy over the line.
His disability is that he's just. Did I take that gummy? I don't even know.
You did.
No, it's not. It's right here.
Oh, they're not.
Oh, dude, I'm in the wormhole now, or rabbit hole.
Wormhole.
So let's think about this.
This is like the time I got hammered, and then I talked about how Halloween was actually about black people heading to the suburbs.
I'm starting to think that slasher films are a way of exploiting disabilities. Jason, did you just leave?
I hit a button. Sorry, I'm a little tipsy. I hit the button.
Paul's like, nah, I'm not doing this one. I rallied against the Catholic Church. Paul's fine. In the whole time, I'm like, wait a second, is it about this? He's like, nope. Cancel culture out.
Burt Reynolds.
So So think about it. Every single slasher, with maybe the exception of Pinhead, but no, because if you go back to when Pinhead was a man, it could probably be classified the same way. Suffers some sort of disability, mostly mental, sometimes physical too, or
What's Freddy's
deformity in some way.
what is Fred Krueger's disability?
Wait, is that
pedophilia? Is that like a disability?
I mean, that's a huge that's a mental health concern. But he's a burn victim. Wait, how did you miss that one?
Because of he's a burn victim because he's a pedophiliac.
Hey, Dan, turn around real quick. Take a look. Take a look at the TV. Tell me what's wrong with Freddy Krueger. With this picture, tell me on the doll where they burned you. All right. So think about it. Like everyone has some
Pinhead a sex maniac.
There's not one. And now I know the killing part could also be like, well, that's the indicator of the mental health. But I'm talking about the representation of the of deformities and disabilities.
What about the shape? The shape is evil personified. 6 times I shot him 6 times.
He's a recluse. He's like fucking. There's so many things wrong with Myers.
He's a mute.
He murdered his sister. But no. I mean it from the point of view of like, how do most?
I'll stop begging you. I'll stop begging you.
No, I love it. Don't stop fucking doing that.
I just came up with an idea for a great remake.
I will kick you. That's how you get kicked off the Scene Snobs. You stop antagonizing, and then I get mad because I'm like, it's fun. Even if I get mad, I'm having fun.
Remake.
What's your remake, Jason?
50 Shades of Grey with Pinhead.
Oh my god.
No, so the best part about
the
Hellraiser series, though, by far, is like it goes so far beyond. Like, as somebody, have you read The Hellbound Heart, Jason?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so like the actual series goes so far beyond what's shown in the film, even, and like my favorite part is how so Pinhead would be like 50 Shades of Grey is vanilla, right? It's like it's vanilla. Like this isn't pushing the boundaries of anything. This is just something that like married couples do when nobody's watching in the hotel, you know.
Have you read this, Dan?
Is that the newest one?
Yeah, that's the newer one, right?
Yeah.
I just picked it up.
How is it?
I haven't read it yet. I just picked it up.
Jason,
let me know what you think.
FYI, and this has happened to me many times in my life. In the 2000s, I wrote an entire screenplay based upon an inversion of Dante where when the narrator got to hell, there was nobody on the throne. Tell me when you get to the end of that book.
I know what it's about.
That's the thing. It pissed me off so much. I was like, I have a probably 350-page screenplay all about an inversion of Dante. And he just did it better than I could have ever done. And like Clive Barker's a phenomenal author. Like,
you didn't send that screenplay to Clive Barker, did you? You might have some royalties coming your way.
No, I have like 15,000 pages worth of stuff that I'll never send to anybody because I wrote for me, not other people. So.
Listen, Dan.
My days of publishing would laugh after grad school. Grad school beat it out of me.
Can we read it at the next charity event?
No, we adapt.
That'd be cool. That'd be awesome. That'd be fucking dope.
Come on, man.
Yeah,
come on. Start a production
what
company.
What about the children?
You know what the fun part is?
Don't be
I already
a
got one.
About
Let's
it.
do this.
I'll donate $100 if we can read your script, Dan. I don't have it, but I will donate it.
Oh my god!
Don't worry. Hashtag stream is coming soon. Hashtag.
This is why that'll never happen. The story that I was paid the most for, I got made $235 for this short story. It's called I Hope There Are Housewives in Hell. The protagonist of the short story, it's like roughly 11 pages. Protagonist short story is a John. You know, he's like a hooker. And he shows up to a house thinking that the wife is going to be there, and it's the husband answers the door. And there's this, oh my God, there's this whole like dialogue that happens, and the husband ties him to a chair, and he's talking at him while the John is like thinking in his head, but he's bound, he can't tell. And he's like, at the climax of the story, the husband pulls the like gag out of his mouth and says, "Do you have anything to say for yourselves?" And he says, "Yeah, I hope there are housewives in hell," thinking because the husband has a gun, he thinks he's going to kill him. And the husband says, "Oh, yeah?" He puts the fucking gag back in his mouth, and then the husband blows his own fucking brains out, leaving the John sitting there in the chair.
Damn.
That's the shit that I write. And like, nobody wants to read that. Like, nobody wants to read that. Nobody wants to, no. Nobody wants to, because, oh, so what happens to John? He dies in that chair after nobody comes and finds him. Nobody wants to read that shit. I think it's hilarious. I think it's funny as hell.
Notice something.
A24 is making a shit ton of money on those kind of scripts.
Dude, I want to push you over. Talk to me. I can help you with this. I'm helping Paul.
Yeah.
Well, he
Heidi
has to
wants
finish
to
the
see it.
script, but then I'm helping Paul.
Yeah.
Apparently Heidi Warren would like to. I don't know who she is, but she would know.
Heidi
Heidi, I'm
Warren.
glad you would like to. I think that shit's hilarious. Like,
She
you're
just wants to
facing
be
death and you
tagged.
say
Don't worry
no
about her.
remorse. The one, so I made another like $200 on another one. $200 on another one. It was a guy who he's sitting at a table drinking. He's got this bottle of vodka in front of him, and it's the end of the world. And I actually love this story. I love this story. The bottle of vodka, it's the end of the world, and he's watching the clock. And according to all the prophets, the world is going to end at midnight. And he is lamenting his entire life because he didn't believe in anything. Okay. He's like, oh, I'm going to go to hell. And he's remembering the time he pushed his like ex-girlfriend down the stairs. She lost a baby. He robbed this lady. He's recounting these events. And this goes on for a long time. At the end of it, he takes a drink and he's like, man, I'm a piece of shit. And he looks at the clock and it's 12:16. And then the story ends. I love that story. I think it's hilarious. Everybody else, when I tested that in a group, when I tested in a group, they were like, you are the most depressing writer I've ever heard.
But that's like, the thing. You're testing it to a group. You're not testing it to a potential audience base. Dude, I can
the magazine that published it. You can look up this magazine online. This magazine's called Anything That Moves. It's out of San Francisco, California, and it is a post-structural, pro-trans, like local magazine that just pays for short stories and shit like that. They published like 4 of my short stories, and I loved it. I loved every second of it. I was like, yeah, like push the boundaries. And then the editor writes me, and he's like, can you write something that possibly has a positive spin? And I sat there and I stared at that blinking icon for 4 or 5 days. And I said, okay, I'm done. Because I cannot generate something that has a positive spin.
Good.
It's fine. You don't need a positive spin. A24.
A24.
A24. No, you stay away from A24. You can make these better. And I'm not putting down A24, but they're not the be all end all win every fucking battle that everybody claims they are. They're my favorite A24 head in the world is Tim, whom
my brother loves
A24.
Yep.
I think they're overrated too, but they make those kind of movies is all I was saying. The
only thing I will say about A24 is keep doing exactly what you're doing, because they are 100% them. And I have to give credit to little indie guys right now. The little indie guys that are keeping the horror genre fucking strong. And you need to do that in times like these. And at least I will give this to A24. Every one of their fucking movies is different.
Yeah. And well shot.
100%.
And I'm saying that, and I'm a critic of them. Like, well shot.
Hey, Ari Aster's fucking movies look amazing.
They're well shot. They have
great acting and they have great chemistry. There's not great stories. They're not great stories for the rest of the rapping. Yo, I am super fucking high.
A24? Love it. A24 or Ari Aster, because I lump them kind of together.
They were. They are pretty much the same. I don't know if Bo was.
A24, I'd agree with Mick. I feel like the story's kind of, whether it's the director or the actual story, I feel like kind of womps. But I feel like they're almost there for most of their movies. Like they have everything they need. They just don't deliver like they absolutely should. But they're so close that I give them credit because it is usually original stories, and I appreciate that because I'm tired of the regurgitated formulas that everyone else does. So I just want something different. So I think they do always deliver on different. I just think they haven't figured out how to deliver appropriately for mainstream audiences, or even for me as a horror, I guess, critic, perfectly yet. But I think they're on their way because they keep getting better, I think.
I don't know that they're getting better. I would say it's a pretty.
I do have a pen name, Jason, but I'm not telling you what it is.
Ooh, that'd be so cool.
No,
yeah,
I like
Dan,
my
we're-
students for years.
That hurt.
Dan,
I'm
we're gonna
sorry.
talk about this after.
I can't
You
make
have
it.
credit.
So this is why is like my students for years tried to find it, and when I was like in grad school, I was trying to get stuff pushed out there, fiction, because I mean my don't forget my master's degree is in English. Like I'm pushing this stuff out there and like really trying to push boundaries of things, and like I didn't want my parents that are of my students to know some of the stuff I was writing because it's fucked up. Like, I don't know. For what it's worth,
I
like
get it, but yeah,
I got published. I got my short stories got published. I've written literary critique that have gotten published.
All right,
I've
Dan,
never
don't
finished
say
an
anything else
album.
about them because I don't want any more stories getting out there. These are
Those two are published at least. That's why I said them.
oh yeah,
Oh
those.
my God, you're Joe Hill.
Oh shit, you are Joe Hill. Who's your
Who's
dad?
Joe Hill. I don't know who that
Who
is.
is your daddy and what does he do?
What does he do?
Is his last name King? So dude, yeah, save that. We'll talk about it later. Because I don't want to give any of your good stuff away. But I want to hear more. So you ready to spin the wheel?
Yeah.
I'm
Paul.
absolutely ready to spin the wheel.
Who's turn?
I gotta call.
It's
I'm
me.
gonna call time real quick on me. Hold on.
All right. Well,
Like
you just
spin it.
won. Whose turn is it?
I thought you just went, Mick, and I thought it was me.
Oh, Paul. Well, what do you
Paul's.
want?
Oh, it's gonna be truth. Let's spin the shit.
Wait, you want a question or you want a
Question. Yeah. Sorry.
Oh,
Question.
question.
I said truth. Sorry, Mick. I'm pretty
Dude,
deep
you
in the
saw
bottle.
me. You saw me take the candy. You gotta be cool.
I'm swimming
you gotta be
right
cool.
now.
You gotta be slow right now, producer Paul. All right, let's see what we got here. Number 56. Could jump scares in horror media secretly pop out of screen? Wait, what? Could jump scares in horror media secretly pop out of screens during analysis? What would that be like? Oh shit. Could you imagine like the Ring Girl reading the news and then like get over here?
Yeah.
We need to
No,
talk.
I would absolutely. I'd probably watch the news again since I haven't watched since COVID, and all that. Honestly, since the presidential debates years ago, I stopped watching the news for the most part. But I'd start watching again if they had jump scares. Like, I think it'd be awesome. Biden visits, New York for blah 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 blah, and then all of a sudden, Ghostbusters, the marshmallow guy comes out and all that shit. I'd be like, fuck yeah. Like you're calling to my inner child and my inner movie person. I would absolutely watch that news channel. 100%.
Holy shit, that would be amazing. Just like quick, like
Yeah.
flashes too. Chase, what do you think? You think you could stand the news if it was like that?
Oh my God, Jason Voorhees takes NBC. Oh my God, that'd be fantastic. The news just giving the news, and all of a sudden her head comes flying out the screen. Oh, fantastic!
That's where that's where the news would get so much more entertaining if you turned it into a fear factory where it's like, all right, you're going to report the news. We're going to pay you shit tons of money, but you have to report the news on the run from being killed by like some crazy psychotic killer.
Awesome.
Right.
That
And
would be
like they
amazing.
have to go and hide throughout the building, but while reporting, and they can give it out and be like, oh, we're going to switch to weather. And then it's just the other dude trying to like do the fucking weather and like under a desk.
Do like fear
Jason
factor
Voorhees
styles.
rolling
Like
around.
one story's true, one story false. I would
But the
absolutely
camera
love
always
that.
has to be on them.
Yes.
So like the killers could just put on the TV around or something. I know where they are.
Today in this local preschool, Susie made this nice little, and now suddenly Chucky jumps up and rips the reporter's head off. Oh my God, it'd be fantastic.
You shouldn't have put a hard emphasis on this, Dan, because I knew Chucky was going to show up at least twice tonight.
You know what's funny is like I don't have any of the Chucky Blu-ray. I just never did. I never bought it.
Which
I
one?
don't. I love. So I will say this. I love the Bride of Chucky series. The original trilogy. I don't know, man. I know people
I like the
worship
first
it,
one the
but
most.
I like the second one.
what's funny is I have a sentimental place here for the third one because I saw it in the theater, even though I shouldn't have been able to go. I snuck in, 9 years old. And what was it, 93, I think? Yeah. I snuck in.
Oh, baby. King of Horror here himself.
Oh, sturdy.
Sturdy.
Dirty.
Was good.
Here goes the show.
Chris. Is he on yet?
Sturdy, you just rip one?
Yeah. I just got a few minutes ago, so I was like, I gotta smoke now. Finally,
Oh, okay. Well, you go do that, and let me know when you're in.
I want Sturdy to spin the wheel.
I'm good. I'm already in. But
Yeah,
Dude, you ready to spin the wheel? You know what we're doing here?
I have no idea what's going on. But
You
Jason,
can
do you
either
want to
pick
go your
a
turn?
question or a challenge.
So yeah, it's an improv challenge. We're gonna give you an absurd improv challenge, and you have to sell it. And you can pick any one of us or all of us to join you in it. Or you can answer an absurd question, but you got to try and sell it with a good conversation about it. So you tell us which you would prefer.
I'll try the improv one.
All right, dude. Automatic 10 points because you chose that. Jason's in the lead with like 100 points. Dan's close back in with like 75. Paul bumped up to, I guess, about 40. And I think I'm standing at 35.
I thought you were about to say Paul jumped up with 4.
Right. That's what I thought he was about to say too.
Cool. So, and here we go. Oh, I didn't put it up. Shit. There we go.
I don't even know what any of this means. But
You got it, man. Don't
This is from the Dirty Handbook right here.
Wheels.
26. Okay, so we're gonna give you the corresponding number. This is the challenge. Wait until I make you big on the screen, but a sitcom about a family of time travelers. You gotta give us the sitcom, improv this bad boy. Who do you want to be in it with you?
All right. It was say it's a sitcom about what?
It's a sitcom about which number?
Time travelers.
Time travelers. Yeah, 26.
You gotta make one up.
So it's a family of time travelers.
Yeah.
Family of time travelers. Give me a second. I gotta unplug my mic for a second because this thing fell. Give me 1 second.
I love this. This is gonna be rough. I think we're all gonna have to be in on this one.
Family of time travelers. Like, is this basically Back to the Future 4?
No, you shut your goddamn mouth. You were there last night, don't you? Do not speak of the Back to the Future 4. Jason will smite thee. Paul,
I just think about like
you over there.
Doc's family at the end, right? Like, what were the two sons' name? You probably know, Mick.
Which ones?
Doc's two sons.
Oh yeah, it's Jules and Vern.
Jules and Vern. That's right, Jules and Vern.
I want to point out something because to what we were talking about last night, and I think I mentioned this to her, Chloe Wells. Which, by the way, anybody who's watching, make sure you
tune in. Hey, seriously,
3 Geeks tomorrow night, 7 p.m.
7 p.m. Eastern time.
You want to go do that?
It's a really, really good interview.
In the description.
Yeah,
I checked out her.
To edit the part out where we got the where she took the screenshot. That's the only part I need to edit out of that interview. Otherwise, it's all writing because that was amazing. Like it was.
Oh my
guys,
god, I felt so fucking bad. Like I felt good by what she was saying to me, but I felt horrible because I'm like, this is not my show. I wish she wasn't doing this.
Mick, what are the odds? Like what happened on 3 Geeks' pre-recorded interview yesterday is and trust me, I'm gonna short the shit out of that. So you don't have to worry about anything. Because that was wonderful.
You should be dropping clips before you drop the episode. Drop a couple clips before you drop the episode.
I'll say this. So
have time.
I checked out all her socials, and if you're listening, go check out her socials. Claudia Wells at everything.
Claudia
I mean, that's
Wells.
like if you just put in Claudia Wells, she is the sweetest human being that I think that I've ever talked to. And you, Jason, you and Mick, like some of the people you guys I get to contact, like I'm just a schlub, man. Like the fact that I get to talk to some of these people with you guys, I mean, I am so happy. Like I talked about it for 2 hours last night, and I was like, okay, we can be done talking about this.
Me too. I'm texting everybody I know, like,
oh
dude!
yeah. Like, but I don't know, like the crazy, she's just an actual good human.
Yeah,
Like,
she's really sweet human being.
yeah.
I was telling
And
you
that
guys
was the
before
thing
the
that really
show.
struck me was like, I never expect celebrities are celebrities. And we've all, in the 5 of us sitting here, have all had encounters now with different levels of celebrities. And often I'm kind of disappointed. She did not disappoint. She is an actual good human. And I was like, man, this is, like,
Yeah.
I was into it. And afterwards, after we stopped, she introduced us to her pets and showed us these soups that she kept talking about on the like interview. And I was like, wow, you were just like a good person. You're just an actual legitimate good human. I would have a beer with you. I don't think she probably drinks beer based upon what she was saying, but like I'd have a beer with her. Like,
I would taste her soup. I think it looked good.
I would have
It
eaten
looks
that
good,
soup.
man. Dude,
The
I've
bone broth
interviewed
soup.
That's not a euphemism.
so many people, various levels, and they're all like, afterwards, I'm gonna tag you in this photo. It's gonna be fantastic. They never do. When we left the show, like I didn't know doing the interview how like on the real Claudia was until post the interview, when all of a sudden my social media was blowing up with Claudia Wells just followed you. Claudia Wells just befriended you on Facebook. Claudia Wells is following you on Twitter. It's like,
That's awesome.
Dude, Jason, you know what was crazy about that? When you told your story to her about when you guys met, and for context, because I might cut this as a clip.
Good to see you.
Yeah, Paul, thanks a lot for joining in, brother. We love you, man.
Thanks, Paul.
But as a context for people tomorrow, and you're gonna want to watch it because I'm not giving anything away, but I might cut some of these clips from here to be like, maybe like, go check this out. It's gonna be a really fun episode. But I will say this: when you told your story when you met her, I shut it down in my head. I was like, I'm not saying a fucking word because I don't want to step on anybody's story. And then like when we got to talking and she had mentioned the thing, I don't know, it just kind of came up. And then when I said I was horrified, but at the same time so happy. But thank you so much, dude. That was truly a wonderful experience. When
she said everything happens for a reason, like last night, I did the same thing Dan did. I talked to so many people about it. They were tired of hearing about it. But, I stopped and I thought about what she said about everything happens for a reason. I'm like, you know what? Max had to not show up for the interview. She had to be late. I had to reach out to Dan and Mick to see if they wanted to join me. She had to be even more late so it could happen, but not too late because Mick would have had to leave. Like so many different events led to making sure that you were there last night. So I'm really glad you brought that up.
It was crazy, right? Because I did say that. I was like, yeah, because I have to go to go up here with my wife. And she came in like only like a second after that or something like that. Mm-hmm. That was so weird, man.
Like I felt bad. I think she thought we were like talking about her, but
oh no, she didn't like the naughty language.
Yeah, she didn't want. She was like, you guys were swearing and talking about like I wasn't, and I was like, oh no, like because it wasn't about. We weren't even talking about her. Jason said he thought she was on. She thought she was gonna be on Zoom, and then I said something completely different, and I dropped the F-bomb every other word I say, and then Mick said, "Oh, I don't give a shit" or something like that, and like it was totally.
I said I'm from Jersey, so it happens.
Like. Not related to anything her, and I felt bad that she thought.
I think it was just. I think it was the language, and that's just who she is. Like she's such a friendly person. That was her like kind way of being like, I heard what you guys were saying, and it was so like she said that in such a sweet way. So it's funny when we talk about celebrities. That was that was one time where like when she said that, I was like, yeah, I don't want to curse. I get it. Like it was like a power she had over me.
Yeah, she was like immediately snatched that away from me, and I dropped the F-bomb every other word. Like
it was so funny because then we get to I'm thinking about Frakes when Casey and I did that, and I asked him if he would turn on his camera, and the way he said no, it was like behind the way he said no, it was such a domineering, like Riker no, that it was so strong.
Yep.
And commanding, but at the same time, like I respect you though.
Yeah.
Like I'm not turning it on, but I respect you. Like, and I'm like, you had to have fucking mastered this in Starfleet. You know, it's like Jesus.
You know, I'm not gonna have a chance to say this tomorrow, so I just want to say I'm really happy that Gypsy Rose Blanchard is out of prison. I just want to throw that out there.
Wait, what happened?
Gypsy Rose, she's out of prison.
I saw something about this on the internet, and I was like, I need to look it up.
She's out of prison. She's the girl whose mom abused her for so many years. So her and her boyfriend killed her mom.
The Hulu show?
Yeah, the act. Yeah. She's out of prison.
Oh
and
my
I'm
God, she's out?
So glad she's out. She should be out. Yeah,
I know nothing about it.
Good behavior.
Didn't she kill her mom because her mom was making her sick?
Yeah, her mom made her sick.
And she went to jail for that. God damn, dude. Yeah, I remember watching that. That was fucking crazy.
Happened today. Today? Yeah, today, I think.
Stir, do you see what's on in the background?
Fucking
Proud of
3.
you.
He don't know what that is.
Yes, it does.
Stir knows.
What is it? What is
Sturd
it,
is
Sturdy?
Oh, maybe he doesn't know.
He doesn't know.
Sturdy's chilling.
I love that Jason knows Sturdy well enough to be like, he doesn't know.
He doesn't know.
Your eyes.
Before we started Stirred, Mick, I said to Mick, I was like, what should I throw on? Because I want to do this now in streams. I want to throw something on in the background. And like, I have this portable screen that I can use all the time anyway. And like, so I was like, what should I throw on? He's like, dude, you got the Dockin poster. Throw on Freddy 3. And so I did. I was like, yeah, I'm going to look. It's a stop motion. This is a total Harryhausen nod that goes on here, by the way. This stop motion Freddy is a Harryhausen nod. They knowingly did this with the skeleton walking around, beating the hell out of first Heather Langenkamp's dad, and then her like pseudo boyfriend in the movie. Like total Harryhausen nod, right?
Is it a nod, or even for the times, because it was the 80s? Was that just the norm? Like, so was the Harryhausen type of stop motion
documentary,
with bone, like a skull? Oh, okay, it was a nod. All right,
it was a nod, and like, I don't know. I didn't like. We had a question earlier about practical effects, and like, I just had this rant with my wife before, and like, as somebody who hosts a lot of horror stuff, Sturdy, what are your opinions on practical versus digital effects?
Practical is so beautiful. Practical is the way it should be, especially I feel like for like a slasher film, for something that's really up close and gory, cutting apart. Because you want to see those body parts, you want the realism from it. You don't want just the extra CGI blood just for the extra blood. It doesn't look good. No, you want that shit where it's just like, oh shit, where it fucks with your mind. So you want it to look as real as possible.
I don't mind CGI blood when it's dressing. You know, like if like people are talking and like maybe there's blood splatters all over the place.
That's fair.
Yeah, if you can, like, I don't mind that, like that the computer generated to the background, stuff like that. I get it. Especially it's helpful for a lot of like indie filmmakers to use a green screen and be able to do that. But
on the body, on the people and shit.
You need special effects for things. But
yes,
I maintain if you can do a set with a good art director and just put the decor together yourself. But I'm just saying, I don't mind it because putting blood all over walls and shit is usually not an option.
That's fair. Shout out to Cutthroat Comics for tuning in. And I just want to say, like, I see that you got a con appearance going on in Ohio, March 9th through 10th.
Nice.
So, Mick, you and I have been there. I don't know. Jason, have you and Sturdy been there yet to the Horror Con in North Carolina?
No.
Carolina Fear Fest?
Yeah, like, so Cutthroat, if you're looking for other cons, Carolina Fear Fest might be a really good connection for you. I had a blast there. Like, last year was my first horror con I'd ever actually been to. I'd been to Gen Con 3 times and like other stuff, but never been to a horror one. If you dig that type of stuff, man, like, we had a great time there last summer. Summer. I mean, it's Labor Day weekend, right? Like
Memorial Day weekend.
I see.
Yeah, Cutthroat, reach
big.
out because I do the media for them, so happy to talk to you about it. But yeah, it's a cool convention. Go check it out. CarolinaFearFest.com.
Yeah, they're
they
good
have
guys.
YouTube,
Too.
like
Yeah.
CFF. Honestly, so last year, tons of great art prints that I found there. I bought for my wife for our 10-year anniversary. All this Jaws stuff. I don't think I've ever showed it on the show or anything, but like all this stuff about the fest, man. Like, if you got stuff, bring it, because honestly, it was a pretty big crowd for 4 days. All 4 days, it was packed. They had great people. Mick hosted a couple of great horror sessions. Man, like my favorite out of everybody was who was that guy from Zombie 1, Mick?
Ian McCullough.
Ian, yeah.
We were talking about him earlier with the Video Nasty. Most of his
Video
movies
Nasty.
are in the Video Nasty.
Like it's just a good con. And so shout out to you. Thanks for tuning in. I want to say that, like, anytime you guys have your stuff like this where people come on, like, I want to mention ways you can get connected and make stuff happen, because that's how I found a lot of stuff that I did.
Yeah, they're awesome. They're always at the Monroe Pop Fest that we do every year.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm gonna check you guys out too. Horror Search 30 is definitely gonna check you guys out. Cutthroat,
yeah,
because
you got a subscriber, gents.
Yes,
or
you
ladies.
do.
It could be ladies. I don't
people.
know.
We'll call it them people.
Oh, this is cool.
I want to hear about the time travel show with the families.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. You're still up, Sturdy. You're on the hook.
Sturdy, yeah, you're on the hot seat, man. And we didn't
all because he realized he would probably have to play a part in this, and he was like, "I'm out of here."
After you tuned out to what Dan was saying, I was hoping that you were thinking about this pitch that you had.
I got it. Listen,
who's your family?
My family. It's gonna be you guys. It's like an adopted type thing.
Who's the mama and the papas? Oh, come on, it's the future. We're time travelers. We
time travelers
and everything.
I'd be a terrible time traveler.
Oh yes. We are time travelers.
Oh my God! Please be the annoying uncle that just like, knows everything about history, and it's like, shut up.
No,
I'd be the
thing
worst
is,
time travel
the
too.
thing is,
I'd go back.
The thing is because he's gonna have like a drinking problem, but it's gonna like help him with his time traveling. But he gets everything mixed up. But it helps him time travel. So like the only way he can time travel is if he's wasted. But he gets all the history shit mixed up, and he's our history guy. So he gets that.
Oh, that'd be great. Oh my God, that'd be so entertaining.
It'd be like at the end of the episodes when he figures it out when he sobers up, but then he starts drinking again.
I would like
to fucked it up.
Listen, I'm saying it right now, the most accurate time travel movie is Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Oh, we could do better than that.
It's the most accurate.
Time Bandits.
It wasn't good though, Mick. It wasn't. It sucked in my opinion. It wasn't funny. It pissed me off. I hated that movie.
Which one?
You know which one.
Which one?
Bill and Ted.
Bill and Ted.
Oh my God.
So
Sure.
I can't like Sturdy. Remember that thing we talked about yesterday and earlier?
Come on, man.
You've just broken my heart.
Oh my God. This is a guy that gives thinks killing a 10 out of 10. And
yeah, what the fuck, dude?
What the hates Bill and Ted?
Listen. I'm gonna explain this to you guys, all right? So the way I rate movies like that, I know that they're not good movies, so they're on a different type of scale. It's how entertaining is it for me? Does it make me laugh?
Expectation versus reality.
You know, you just gotta turn your brain off and just enjoy. Get
Cutthroat is correct.
Enjoy.
We need to give some love to Time Cop. I do love that movie.
I do too.
Sturdy, I wanted to cut you off because everything you were saying was killing me.
The truth hurts, man. The truth hurts. You know, it makes me happy and warm inside. But I will say this: that Thanksgiving may be moving to a new time. I'm just telling you.
Sturdy.
Possibility.
You didn't see this, but this is what I'm drinking tonight.
Nice. I put it in the chat, but I'd be one of the worst time travelers ever, because I was thinking about this today as I was watching a Hallmark movie that revolved time travel. And if I could time travel, most people would go back in time, invest in stocks. Not me. I'd go back to the 90s. I'd go to Blockbuster or a mom and pop video store, rent some movies, grab some racks, go home, pop in my VHS tapes, have a horror marathon, and then I'd come back to the future.
It'd be so funny if an older version of myself showed up with myself and my friends and was like, "Move over, I'm playing NHL '96."
Oh my god! Could I go back and experience Chrono Trigger for the first time again?
Oh shit!
Yeah. I don't know honestly, I don't know anything about it. You guys know about Doctor Who? I feel like I'm a nerd fraud when it comes to that because I don't know anything about Doctor Who.
Literally tattooed on me, the TARDIS.
I know. I'm like, I don't know. I know I've seen one episode and it was with my uncle who is a stoner from the 70s who was like, "Oh man, you got to check out this episode of Doctor Who." And it was like from 1976 and I was just at the time I think I was 12 and I was like, "This is dumb."
No.
Sorry, I was like, can I get back to whatever I was doing at the time? Probably watching Freddy for the millionth time. I don't know. Like,
I want to watch Doctor Who. Like, I like the idea of Doctor Who. I have the female Doctor Who series on DVD. I need to go watch it. I think I'll like it. It reminds me of kind of like a Star Trek.
That's such a dope idea. What Dan's doing in the background, I fucking love it.
Putting on the movies, yeah,
it's dope.
I'm just gonna start telling him that you don't.
I love it.
Watch Joe Bob, and I watch this. So Dan,
yep.
Sturdy's never seen Joe Bob.
Neither have I.
Neither is Jason.
You guys,
man, it's worse because Jason's white.
None of the scary snobs have seen it.
Here we go.
True.
That was like my hero.
Oh,
we keep talking about how we're going to watch it, Sturdy and I, and review it on the show, and we have not yet.
So if you're going to tune into one episode, here's my suggestion, and this is from somebody that's a pretty big. Going back in the day, I tuned into Joe Bob regularly when I was in middle school and high school. Okay, Last Drive-In, season 2, episode 1A. You have the mall robots, Mick.
Mall robots.
Originally called Killbot.
Wait, where are we? I'm very high.
Joe Bob, season 2.
I was on Doctor Who still, so sorry. So now we're on Joe Bob.
Joe Bob.
It's
not Chopping Mall, is it?
Chopping Mall. It's
Chopping Mall. Yeah. Oh, I love it.
Oh, did you see who's going to be here?
I only seen it once, and I fucking love it, huh?
And did you see who's going to be at CFF this year?
Who?
Kelly Maroney.
Some people say she has the best rack in horror ever, and I disagree. But
Jesus Christ, Dan.
I was not expecting that.
I didn't even mean it for that.
I was not expecting.
Katie and I had a whole debate about it, Mick. Katie and I had a whole debate about it. Kelly Maroney, she's nice, but you know who's better.
Michelle Bauer from Sorority Babes in the Slimeball Bolorama. That is the greatest. That is like, if we're talking the wonder of the beautiful female form, that is the greatest nude scene in a horror movie ever.
Wrong.
And I mean, I'm happy to point out all of the male scenes too, just to be
wieners.
Equal.
We love wieners.
We love wieners. I like wieners, but I just on a bun. Maybe some mustard.
I'm glad that's the photo we got, because when you said "I love wieners" and you started to pull up your phone, I got a little nervous. I can't
but
maybe you had a video from Chris.
Chopping Mall, Last Drive-In, Chopping Mall, season 2, episode 1A.
That's the one you want me to watch.
The host is Chris Jericho. They bring him on with Joe Bob and Darcy. The Chopping Mall episode is what brought me back. My brother talked to me about season 1 the whole time season 1 was going on, and I was real sour about it. And I went back to my days when he disappeared, and I was left to Penn and Teller as the host for the drive-in on TNT, and I got mad about it. Pre-internet, right? I didn't know what happened.
They were before Joe Bob.
They took over after too, though.
Oh, I don't remember. No, it ended with him. Remember, it ended in 2000 when he moved. Remember they moved him to Los Angeles, and they did that whole bit where he's living in his trailer in the backyard of a.
Yeah, but I thought after that, Penn hosted 6 more episodes.
Maybe he did. I don't know, but I know
You might be right. But like I just got maybe it was a rehash and they re-pulled 10 episodes afterwards, and I just got mixed up because I was a senior in high school. I didn't know.
Nobody beats Gilbert Gottfried in USA Up All Night.
I'll tell you.
Cutthroat wants to know.
What? No, Joe Bob for me is the number one.
No, Slasher?
Nobody beats the Wiz. What nobody beats.
No. I was answering Jason's question about
Cutthroat. You're gonna get 4 different answers because we all have 4 very different tastes. But mine is Scream.
So, this is all I have to do. That's all I have to do. So, that answers it right there.
30s is Thanksgiving.
The best slasher movie franchise. If I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna base it off of the best movies, the abundance of movies that not that I enjoy, but I think are good. Like, because if it's what I enjoy, I enjoy Friday the 13th all the way through. Like, I enjoy all of them for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say that with every other one.
But wouldn't that be a fair pick though? Because it's your opinion. It's your opinion and how you feel about it in the first place. So wouldn't that be a fair? Instead of like,
I try to keep it, but my personal, when I do like a review or I try to be objective to say like this may not be my personal favorite. So Friday the 13th would be my personal favorite. But if you're asking me what's the best, all right, and I'm not talking about it who has the most good movies. I'm talking about the best put together movies, overall. Best directed and story and such. I would either say Halloween or, and you're going to hate me for this, Scream.
Yeah, Scream's my favorite. But I would put Friday the 13th up there because the first 7 Friday the 13th movies are a perfect blend of one story leading into the next, which other than Scream, I don't know of very many horror films where each movie lends itself to the next one so fluidly. And Friday the 13th just does it so well. And Nightmare on Elm Street probably has my favorite horror film in the franchise, like with New Nightmare. But the franchise as a whole is a freaking roller coaster.
Jason,
of a mess.
Wrong.
The stories don't blend together at all.
Don't have to blend it. There's a trilogy in there. There's a trilogy. That's it. But everything else stands alone. And
could make the argument for Chucky as well.
Even Joe Bob says Freddy's the pinnacle, Mick.
Well, listen here, but he's not asking who's the best slasher. He's asking what's the best slasher franchise. And I think we can all agree that there's a lot of bad in that franchise.
No, I disagree. So, like, this
he cannot be objective, Mick.
That's why I never like to answer the best question, because I like with this, I always go with the Mount Rushmore. I think it's just a more pleasing discussion. Personally,
I get that, but I just always go with
Michael,
my favorite.
Jason,
that's fair though.
Pinhead, Freddy.
Because it's a tough. Because I feel like when you say the best, I feel like it really is a tough conversation, because it's really like, what do you enjoy the most? What do you like the best? Like, what keeps you coming back? And everybody has a different answer for that. So it's like, that's the best to you for whatever reason. And that's perfectly fair. That's perfectly fair. And I love the conversations and the back and forth, because it's just fun bullshit. And then you learn something about that. Like, oh shit, wait, that happened.
It tells you more about the person in the film.
Absolutely.
Check that out.
1,000%. That was always my favorite part of hanging and working at the video store, was like the conversations you had, even with customers, made you.
I got it. Here's the sitcom, Mick. Look what I said earlier. Time traveler going back to the past.
You know, when you do this, I can't hear you because you need
I'm too excited. We're podcasting at a VHS store, or at a store we own, Sturdy Video. Boom. Yeah. We're podcasting right in there as customers are coming in, coming out. We're questioning them. If they get the question right, they get an extra night for free. Boom.
I talked about it though. Are you watching Tremors?
I'm not watching anything.
What is that?
Oh, him.
What is that Conan?
No, it's 2 girls, a monk up on a horse.
It is not. Somebody's on the thing. Oh, it's Army of Darkness.
That sign, anybody that's tuning in, that poster is signed by both Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell.
Jeez, I love it. That's fantastic. If you could, who do you not have an autograph from that you would absolutely love an autograph from?
Ja Rule.
Ja fucking Rule. If you don't get it on a half-past dead fucking poster, I will hate you forever.
You should get Ja Rule. So you just go down to the local McDonald's where he's working and go in there and ask him.
What are you talking about?
While you're there, be like, what was it like being Diet DMX?
So disrespectful.
So this was signed. I got this signed.
Yes.
A friend of mine is.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can I change mine? Can I change mine? Chucky gets it. The Chucky franchise, the movies that they have, they've reinvented themselves. They're all well shot. Now, I'm not saying that you have to enjoy them all, but there's an aspect to that franchise where you can enjoy multiple movies in that, and get like a really cool fulfillment out of it. So that's my answer. I'm changing it from Halloween or Scream to the Chucky franchise, because essentially that has evolved 4 times into something new with the times, and no other franchise has done that successfully.
Don Mancini doesn't get enough respect, I don't think, because he's really like done well by that for that series. Oh my god,
I agree with you,
guys.
Jason.
Watch
Mancini.
the show.
Yeah, but the problem is that the height of that series, in my opinion, wasn't directed by Mancini. It was directed by the same guy who directed Freddy vs. Jason.
All right, listen, Dan. I love Freddy. I love that first movie. I think it's a great, almost damn near perfect script. But he didn't ask us our favorite, which slasher is the most iconic. He asked us which is the best slasher. And I'm sorry.
Okay, let me rephrase this. You take 3 from any franchise, 3 from any, okay?
Okay.
You take 3 from any. Put them against Nightmare 3, 4, and 5.
Back to the Future.
No, from a horror franchise.
No, you said any.
Nightmare 3, 4, and 5. 4 and 5 are awful.
They're great. Oh my god. No.
They're not great. Oh my god.
5 is so good. It's gothic. And it has the whole Escher part at the end where they're, oh man, 5 is
I don't know
great.
how you didn't say 1, 3, and 7.
No. The trilogy that I'm sticking
to the Nancy trilogy.
Narrative. You said narrative. The narrative within that band is 3, 4, 5. And
sorry,
so
man.
I'm
I know, but that sucked.
They're great.
Awful.
They're phenomenal.
No. Friday 2, 3, and 4 beats that. Friday 4, 5, and 6 beats that. Friday 7, 8, and 9 beats it. I don't even like Friday 7, 8, and 9.
We settled this in October already.
Yeah,
There is no superior. So like Halloween, oh my god, talk about a chock full of really bad films.
I'm not disagreeing.
So past 2, I'm not buying into the millennial. Halloween 3 was a masterpiece bullshit.
Halloween 3
I like the movie, but it's bad.
It's not a masterpiece.
It's below the Mendoza line. Okay?
I would agree with that. I would agree that, and I think the only reason, and now listen, I really enjoy it. I think it's a good movie. But when I think the only reason it's getting as much praise is because of the
Darcy's
way the horror genre, the horror community has swung in more recent years in finding old movies that people considered bad and saying, no, this is great. And I think it's going overboard personally.
Halloween 3 is fine. It's whatever. But 4, 5, and 6 in Halloween are really bad. And we're not even getting.
Oh, I don't know. We have to think of a new line for horror then, because I'm not going to lie. A lot of horror on my Mendoza line isn't above it.
4, 5, and so 3, 4, and 5. Sorry, 3, 4, and 5 and Freddy. 3 is way above it, right? 3's
above it. 1 and 3 are the only ones that are above it in Nightmare.
4 is above it. So 4 was directed by the same guy.
No,
you're telling me that 4 is better than the Karate Kid?
Yes.
Bullshit.
Four-
Bullshit.
Oh,
You're
damn.
crazy.
Four
This
was
is your
directed-
fandom speaking.
And you
Four was
fight me on
directed-
Jaws, man. You fight me on Jaws. You know what?
Jaws
I
is
gotta
I
give
never
some
thought
respect
that
to my
Jaws is
wife. Hold
above
on
the
one
Mendos.
sec.
But four was directed by the same guy who directed Die Hard 2. I'm trying to remember his name right now, and I can't.
I love
I
passion.
literally
love
just
that you
looked
love
at my wife and said, "You might want to go upstairs. I'm about to rant," because she's watching TV.
So four is the most Hollywood 1980s horror movie.
Yeah,
ever
and it
filmed.
was fucking atrocious.
Oh, great. Phenomenal. Especially the fight scene at the end in the church. Oh my God. Don't forget, that is one of the highest grossing horror movies of all time.
Because
Okay.
it's coming off of the success of the third one.
Well, 3 is great. It's my favorite, but 4 is phenomenal. And 5 is underrated in terms of its gothic aperture. It's the only gothic aperture in terms of Freddy. It's the only time we get that gothic, like, oh, Cutthroat didn't like Freddy 2. Freddy 2 stands on its own. It's its own thing.
I do too. I think Freddy 2 stands on its own the way Halloween 3 does.
Yeah, it's like
I love
Halloween 3 or in a certain extent kind of Friday the 13th part, is it 5 where there's
5.
no Jason? 5.
Yeah, 5.
Like it just stands on its own. I mean, like sometimes you just try to do something different and it doesn't work and you just are like, okay.
And I feel like that had to, I almost feel like to get to 3 you had to have the drastic difference of the second one.
And part 2 is one of my favorites in the franchise. It's in my top 3.
I like part 2. I'm a fan.
3.
I love Jack Shoulder who directed it.
Yeah.
Like I think that if you look at all the slashers, there's no way that any of the other slashers, whether you're tagging, go ahead, tag Scream, Mick. Pick 3 Scream movies that average out better than Freddy 3, 4, and 5.
1, 2, and 3.
Oh, 3, 4, and 5?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Nah, 3's so bad. Come on.
5.
3 is bad.
5.
Scream 3 is bad.
So is, but you're
Dude.
sticking up for 4 and it's just as bad.
Yeah.
It's at least it's tongue in cheek. At least it was they were both actually trying to be funny in a weird
You
way.
guys are
But
killing my heart right now. You're killing my heart.
dude, the
It's
Dream
like-
fucking Master.
it's
Come
tearing it
on,
out.
man. I like her too. And I said that in my review. I really liked Lisa Wilcox's performance in it. There are things in that.
4 and 5.
I thought,
come on. Do you remember the diner scene? The diner scene.
it's greatly
It's better
shot,
in
man. I agree,
remake.
but it's so dense. There's barely any kills. Like it's just, it's so.
Well, it's a horror movie shot by an action director.
I know, but I think that's what took the heart out of it, because you had the third one, and the third one is so pivotal and wonderful, and then you get to 4, and it's like you over bastardized this.
I like it. It's like the MTV of horror movies.
And I, you know what, you saying that's why I watch it though. Again, I don't think it's good, but that's why I watch it, because it does remind me of that 80s just fucking craziness, you know?
I love it. And oh god, the scene where he puts the sunglasses on.
I think 4
on, man.
I think 4 is the Freddy that's the most recognizable to everyone. Like if you go, hey, do you know who Freddy Krueger is? Yeah, and they're picturing him from the 4th movie.
It's a shame.
I can
The
guarantee
5th one also is underrated because it does return a certain level of Freddy being scary to it. Also, interestingly enough, produced by a woman who wanted to tell a Freddy story where it had to do with like essentially what would happen if Freddy was a dad.
Yeah,
And
they
like-
should have went that way.
Oh, and it like it's so good. And here's the other part. If they had gone, Guillermo del Toro did a treatment on Freddy 6. Okay. And so did Peter Jackson, both of them. If they had gone their direction in terms of that film, it would have been an old Freddy. 6, I will be with you guys on 6. 6, I have a soft spot for it.
6 is terrible.
It's a bad movie. It's a bad movie. But 3, 4, and 5 are not bad
No,
film.
no, you got me on the horror remake. I'm not. You're never making me budge.
I'm gonna get.
I don't know how you don't. How the trilogy is 1, 3, 7. That's the Nancy trilogy. I know they created their own little trilogy in 3, 4, and 5, but when you
3, 4, 5,
first of all,
3,
when
4,
you
5.
killed off Kristen, I don't care that they recast Tuesday Night. She was fine. I liked her a lot. So you could have kept Kristen. There was absolutely, and I don't want to take anything away from Lisa Wilcox. Her character was great. Or just
Lisa Wilcox is a scream queen, in my opinion.
She's fantastic. So I'm not taking away from her performance, but the story-wise did not serve anything by switching out from Kristen. It didn't. It should have been Kristen.
If they had been able to get, if they had been able to get Arquette at the price they wanted, you might have seen a different 4.
Well, then they should have, or just do it with Tuesday Night. It was bullshit.
But that's it. Like, don't forget, New Line was it was independent until Lord of the Rings. Like,
yeah,
that's how they did things, Mick. You know that.
I know, but I just think it was a poor choice because you should have made it a Kristen and a Freddie trilogy if you were going to do that. It made more sense for Kristen to get pregnant to rebirth Freddie. He's using her. She's connected to him. She was the strongest one. Again, it's not about who played who and the characters, but like you took out these 3 characters, these survivors from this last movie we love so much.
Look at Cutthroat's question.
Oh yeah, well, that kind of change.
We hit that hard, Cutthroat. We hit that hard this fall, really hard.
So Cutthroat,
Actually,
my opinion on remakes is very simple. I don't care. Give me all the remakes in the world because no matter what happens, I still have the original movie and maybe I have a good remake because Scarface was a remake. Like The Thing remake. Like all these great movies that we all love were all remakes, or not all, but you know what I mean.
I couldn't put it better myself. I just agree with Jason. I think that's the best way to put it.
Yeah, he has a great point, and I'll give you guys another point and a little spoiler that I haven't even announced out loud on my show, but I'm going to drop it here right now. So January's theme is going to be remakes on Horror Search 30 on the Tuesday,
shit!
Show. I already got a wheel together for it and everything, so you'll know how I feel about remakes by the end of January for sure.
That's true, but what you should do is go over to Horror Search 30's show or his channel and check out from October our reviews on the remakes of Freddy and Jason. And we really got into really our feelings on remakes in that one.
I had a great time. Time.
That whole series, because Cutthroat, you're newer to this, like on Sturdy Show throughout October, for the whole Halloween season, it was we reviewed every movie in both the Nightmare and Friday franchises against each other. So 1 versus 1, 2 versus 2, 3 versus 3, all the way through, and then all the extras we just did reviews on. It was an eye opener to do it that way, and I love that Sturdy has that method where he does that with franchises. So you should go check all of those out.
Script reading too of Blood
Lake. Fucking Lake. By the way, we need to figure that out. Sturdy and I were talking about that earlier. We need to get him the money so he can buy this fucking movie. And we can
I tried, Sturdy. They're doing a sequel.
Get the
now they're gonna do a sequel.
Blood Lake 2. I'm dead serious. They are doing. I couldn't. I offered them. My own money. I offered them $17,500. They said no. I said I'll give you $17,500 for the rights to Blood Lake 1, and they said no.
$17.05 is about what it's worth.
I agree. I mean, Jason, so we were negotiating. They came in at 38, and I was like, I'll give you 12. And I bet you
that would be a fun investment to do.
I figured I own a movie. Big deal, right? I own a movie. But like I'm not kidding you. We were emailing back and forth. And I wouldn't go about I mean I couldn't. I mean, I'm not a wealthy man. Okay. I 17.5 was my limit. And like they're like, well, we have a sequel. Do you want to invest in the sequel? And I said, no, I'm not buying this because it's a good movie. I'm buying it for my friend.
Well, some kind of friend you are. Like, no, you don't understand.
Well, can we at least get them on Sturdy's show to interview them?
It would have been even better if you were like, yes, I will buy it. Can you sell it to me? No. And as soon as they sell it to you, no, there will be no sequel.
No, so I'm going to put it in the chat.
George Lucas thing. They give you the treatment and they're like, yeah, we'll make that like Disney did with the sequel trilogy. Like, yeah, we're going to use your treatment and just tell them, no, we're not doing Blood Lake.
Sturdy, when we're off air, remind me to tell you something about the Blood Lake thing.
Okay.
And you guys could be there too. It's not, I just want to do it off air because it's an idea for something. All right.
So much just, oh man. That I'm just telling you guys right now, Blood Lake.
Ideas
Owner of the Blood Lake.
Yeah, you want to check something
I
out,
feel like-
Cutthroat? See if you.
I
can
feel like you
land-
guys should just give it to me. And the reason why I say that I feel like you guys should just give me the rights to the movie is because in the past X amount of years since I've watched that film, myself, I don't have any funding towards this movie. I don't get paid for anything about this movie. But I've had more people watch that than you guys.
Yeah, if there's a sequel that is going to be made for this movie, it is off the back of Sturdy. That pisses me off. Like, it is off the back of Sturdy because in the recent years, nobody talked about that fucking movie. Don't tell me there's this cult following. There isn't. The cult following is right fucking there next to me. He was the cult following. He was the one that raised the awareness. I've watched this movie like 5 times now.
I love that.
And I hate him for it. I've done a fucking script read of this movie. If there's any following that wants to see a sequel to this movie, it's because of this man right over here.
I agree.
Yeah, Sturdy watches it every night before he goes to bed on Tubi. Like, he is the reason Tubi has those high views.
He has a holiday in the summertime that's called fucking Farmer, whatever his name is.
Blood Lake Day.
Blood Lake Day.
Nope. Listen, I'm telling you. Just give me the rights, guys. Just give me the rights.
The Pontiac fucking day. Red Pontiac.
I already have merch ideas for it. Can't tell you guys because you'll steal it.
What are you talking about? We talked about it earlier. I gave you ideas.
No, it just keeps going and going and going and going.
The filmmakers will steal it. I get you. All right.
Yeah,
I'm
not
like,
you.
Steal it.
Not you guys. I meant them.
No, I wouldn't steal it. I wanted to buy the movie and give it to you. So,
dude, no, not you. I mean them. If they're gonna make a sequel, they don't need my merch ideas for no damn sequel.
Blood Lake 2.
Yeah, dude, you know what?
Put it in the chat.
The idea that we had, because Zerdy and I were in the lab today talking about it, and we put together an idea of if we own the rights to that movie, how we could profit off of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I guarantee you, it is a solid foundational idea, and them making a sequel is a bad idea, personally.
Mick, every time you say this, I just want to give you a check for $25K and be like, make a movie. Like,
I could. I have 3 scripts written.
Look at that.
They're not well written. I have to write them weller. I loved your face when I said that.
I'll kill you.
Well,
you can't do that.
I just want the first interview. That's all I ask. I just want the first interview.
It's all right.
I think Sturdy should interview Mick about his film he's already shot.
There's a few of them. You've only seen one. I'll only allow
more?
One. Oh yeah, there's more.
Hear that, Sturd?
I told Sturdy on the Discord I will drop all of my movies when we reach 5,000 subscribers on YouTube.
I think
that is a well worth it deal if you want to make fun of it.
That's fair.
And I'm in a few of them.
Even better. I'm definitely gonna watch those. I can't wait.
Get me to 5,000 and you all will. In fact, the only one I'm allowed to watch him right now is Jason. Because he's my biggest fan.
There you go, Jason.
No, in fact, it's only because of what happened last time. That's like fair creative. Like you that was like a top 10 moment of my life. So I was like,
hold up, Mick. You hear this? Because every time Mick talks about his movies that he's touched, he says they're bad movies.
They're terrible.
So for him to apologize to Jason, which I know Jason's not upset about last night's episode or whatever, but here, you can watch my horrible movies. Here's something.
He'll laugh though. You'll laugh at him. I'm an idiot.
I know he's gonna laugh.
The love movie wasn't bad.
It was bad, dude. It was
No.
bad. I wrote that. I know it was
Listen,
bad.
Pieces is a bad movie. Pieces is a bad movie. Like your movie is that
1987 Cutthroat.
1987.
1987. The cover of it looks like
we
a
did
fake
a script
Don't
Freddy,
even
reading
have
of
to
it.
fucking
Freddy
look.
holding the
Cutthroat.
highlighter.
We don't even have to fucking look. We
No.
know this. There's cult
We know
following is
too
here.
well.
It's
The
on
man
Tubi, it's
wanted
on
to
YouTube.
spend $17,000 to give him the rights. That is a cult following. There's your cult classic. And if they're making a sequel, they know who they're making it for, and that's what drives me crazy.
And then
Put me on the cover.
17.5. I said 17.5. They said no. That's crazy. That nobody's seen that movie. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, nobody saw that movie until Sturdy put the fucking challenge down, and we all went about it and hated that. We hate watch that movie now to the point where it's going to be Rocky Horror Picture Show one fucking day.
I didn't
Listen, Blood Lake, here's another thing. If you guys make a sequel, send me a copy. I'm not backing the movie. Just send me a copy.
I should try to hook you up.
The backing's
Sturdy, though,
there
for the first
Yeah.
interview. I should do that.
Send me a copy. I'm on first interview too, and I'm gonna be honest about the sequel. You guys don't know how I feel about the first one that's already out there plenty of fucking times. It's the worst thing I've ever seen. It's the reason why I rate movies in the negatives. Thank you for that, though. I appreciate it. And you gave me something to talk about a lot. And I gave you eyes on your film. So it's like a partnership. At least let's do a partnership or something. I think I deserve that. You know, Blood Lake? Because I'm going to keep talking about this fucking movie. I can't help it.
We can't. We should own it. We should own the fucking movie.
Yes.
I tried, Mick. I tried.
No, I know.
Like,
You did. Dude, you're a fucking hero.
Tim's wealthier than I am. Maybe Tim could just do it. I don't
know. No. We stop buying stuff. You're so wonderful, but shut up. Just Googled it. The movie poster looks cool.
For Blood Lake?
The movie poster doesn't look bad.
You might have looked at the wrong Blood Lake.
I'll tell you what, the car in the movie looks a lot cooler, and I don't like the way they disrespect that beautiful Firebird in there. That was
by having too many people and a boat attached to it.
On top of that, and one of them was sitting on the fucking
center
console. Oh my
great.
god! You know how
that doesn't
like
that isn't the movie at all.
That right there, you know, the discussion we were having earlier about renting having movie people renting your car. That right there, if I see that playback, if I'm like, yeah, you can rent my car, and I see you sitting on my car like that, I'm fighting.
Yeah,
like I didn't agree with it. No, I thought you were just driving this shit down the street normal. Nah, fuck, this is a fucking fight now. Putting your crusty ass feet in my seat. What the fuck do you think this is?
We were talking about that earlier too.
Yeah,
I love it. Oh man, Sturdy hates when you're on his car. Stay off.
Yes, and Cutthroat. Let me know. Let me know if you do watch the movie. Let me know how you feel about it.
What was he saying? Oh yeah, let us know because in fact, Sturdy has a challenge on his show. If you can find a movie that he watches, if you recommend and it's worse, what was it? What is it they win?
So what it's gonna be, which I still haven't put it together on my Patreon. Mick, I may need to talk to you about this behind the scenes, but it's gonna be one of my Patreon tiers. And if you find a movie that you feel you have to watch Blood Lake, that's the first rule. You have to watch Blood Lake. I need proof one way or another. I don't know if I need you to send me a screenshot, something. I don't know. I haven't figured that part out yet.
Post and hashtag Sir Sturdy.
There, yes. Post and hashtag Sir Sturdy on Twitter.
And tag him too. So.
Yep. But yeah, there you go. Oh, fuck, what was I saying? Anyway, if you find a movie worse than Blood Lake, and I agree that it's worse than Blood Lake, not only will that be the new Blood Lake, so to speak, but you'll win a shirt and a mug.
I found a movie worse than Blood Lake, Cutthroat, but I'll tell you next time after you watch Blood Lake.
You found a movie worse than I can see that. Like, I still think Sledgehammer is a worse movie.
I think Thanksgiving is a worse movie.
No, I think
Blood Lake. No
Pieces,
way.
Pieces is worse than Pieces is worse than
Pieces is nowhere near as bad as.
It's worth it. At least Sledgehammer was interesting.
Pieces wasn't even interesting. You have a chainsaw wielding fucking bad guy from Halloween 5 running around, trying to hunt down hot chicks with some student detective, which is just fucking delightful. And then Bluto from Popeye may be the killer. Is he? We don't know. And then you get down to you get an awesome crotch grab in it.
This is but Jason and Sturdy, you guys haven't seen these, have you?
They haven't seen them.
There's an episode of Joe Bob where they watch the two movies that Mick and I are talking about back to back. There's an episode of The Last Drive-In. Like,
Reba, what are you doing?
and what we're really talking about here, he called it an independent horror night. And it's so both movies were straight to VHS in the 80s. And all four of us know about this stuff. All four of us know this. Like the movies that went straight to VHS in the 80s, right? Like skip the theatrical release and you just release it. Like I will say this. Blood Lake makes Pieces. Blood Lake looks like a masterpiece compared to that. I'm just saying.
I don't know, man.
Pieces.
To Pieces? Are you kidding? No, I want a challenge. I'm throwing down the
challenge.
I'm throwing down the gauntlet. I want it on Sturdy Show, but it's got to be his midnight show. So Dan, you got to be prepared. And can we watch Pieces and review it on there? And majority will rule, good or bad. Not is it a good movie?
Pieces versus your film, Mick.
My film?
Not Pieces. So the other one that Sledgehammer. Pieces versus Sledgehammer.
Oh,
just like Joe Bob.
So much worse.
No, oh my God, I would rather watch Sledgehammer all
Joe
day.
Bob?
Which one?
Oh, I like that.
Submit ideas to Joe Bob for movies to watch because we should tell him to watch Blood Lake.
No,
I guess we're just making that more profitable if we tell him to do that and he does it.
It'll become a if it goes on Joe Bob, people will suddenly say it's a man.
Yeah, if I get the rights to it, then we'll let him listen, check out Blood Lake. That movie is garbage.
You can do it for free, Joe Bob.
I did
for 40.
Here's what I would say. Listen. Okay, we could do this, but I need a huge favor. What is it? I need you to send. I need two people to go on the show, right? It's gonna be Mick and Master Shake. Why? Because they've been fans of it. I'm just, sending you the movie, and if he agrees to it, boom, we got a deal. Because it'd be selfish of me to go because I don't watch his stuff like that. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah,
I will
that's
eventually.
Why he'd want to talk to you.
But I'd still rather send real fans for. Now if he was like, I'll send all you guys. Okay, cool. We'll all go. That's how you get us all to go, Mick.
Dude. Oh yeah, it's true. Guys trip. So that's basically CFF this year. 5 Years of Fear, everybody. Make sure you come out. It's gonna be great. And I know the guest list.
Mick, has there been anybody else other than Maroney that's like
Bill Moseley?
Come on,
I've interviewed
Mick
him.
Nite.
He's a nice guy.
Oh, you gotta take off? What's happening?
I said I've interviewed Bill Moseley. Nice guy.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's a big
he's
get.
cool.
That's a big get. Lachlan Monroe. I can't wait to meet him.
Nice.
Especially to talk to him about Night at the Roxbury.
Bless you, good sir.
And I if you don't think I'm gonna film like a little short video for Tim, you're
man.
crazy.
But
I'll be recording some shit out there too. Definitely. Definitely.
I think that one of the key components of if we're really searching, we need to sit down and come up with a categorization of how we're going to label. I think the search needs to be the worst horror movie of all time, but it has to have distribution, right? That's the key.
The Serbian film.
There's worse than the Serbian. There's worse than that. In Necronomicon.
Well, actually, no. I can't. I was like, even story wise, that's a fucking just a shit show.
What's that movie that Ward always talks about? Shoot, the one, not Necronomicon. What is it called?
That's what we do. We cult classic it. In
fact, don't do it.
All right.
This is an AVGN. This is an AVGN. We're not. Don't
listen,
do it.
Cutthroat. I'm gonna say this right now. This is gonna put you in a weird family, I guess you could say.
Get high.
Especially if you make it all the way through. Especially if you make it all the way through on your first try, you're legendary. That's tough to do. I did it.
Actually, listen, you know what, Cutthroat? Watch the movie, and then if you're ever available, why don't we get on a Mick Nite and we'll talk.
Yeah.
I love that idea.
Comics.
Yeah, and then you could talk about the comics and you could talk about everything else.
Shit, I'll even say this, Cutthroat. If you like watching,
Wait, you're
cheesy
not
bad
racist,
horror
are you?
movies-
I've made that mistake before.
Oh, Nick,
He
who's
had.
that guy? God, who is the guy? It was you and Sturdy that was interviewing, wasn't it?
Who?
The guy that was just outlandish, wild, wanted to talk about Marvel.
Oh my
Yeah,
god!
no, that's who he's talking about. That's the guy he's
That
talking
was the
about.
racist dude. That was the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the racist guy. But my aunt died that morning, and my brain was scrambled. And we decided to do this. No, I Cutthroat. I didn't think so. I was just messing with you. But but and my brain was scrambled, and this guy had been asking for like months to be on the show. And I was like, all right. I mean, Marvel, MCU, bleeding. I was bleeding edge or whatever. I was like, all right, we can talk Marvel. And I came up with some Marvel topics and stuff. And like they were fun. If you've seen my show, you know they're fun, lighthearted topics. You know, we tried to just get geeky. And then like he's talking and my brain is like on a different planet because I'm like, all right, I'm leaving for Jersey the next day to go to a funeral. Like I got to get my shit together. And Casey's listening, but he's horrified. And I don't understand why his face is like this. And I'm like, what the fuck is going? And like, he's just like, why? Like, and I can tell.
That's right. Casey was on the show.
Oh, he was sexist too, not just racist. Sexist.
He was sexist and racist. And the way he talked, but he was sexist and racist in a way that he would say slurs while saying, but I'm the least racist person you know.
Yeah.
Or I'm the least sexist person you know. And it's like,
I've heard that before.
And you're like, what? And then I realized he's from Florida because at the end he's like, yeah, I'm out here in Florida. I'm like,
no, that was a wild show though. Like, that's a wild show. Like I tuned in as much as I could, probably 30 minutes of it. Like
we ended it, and Casey.
I watched it. I messaged Mick the next day. I'm like,
I wish I was there. I wish I was on that shit.
I wish you were too, dude. I wish you were too. In fact, can we get you, Dreams, Chris, Jeff? Like, can we get a bunch of people and I'll invite them back on the show and she's like, these are my new co-hosts. And then I just get off.
I don't want to pick at him like that, though. I don't want to pick at him like that, but like just in the initial thought, just like, okay, let me fuck with this guy somehow.
You know, I messaged Mick the next day. I'm like, how do you know this guy? He works with, you know, our old publicist firm. Mick's like, he's one of those guys.
Yeah, he messaged me that, and I'm like, no. But when Casey just like was sitting next to me because he was on camera with me.
Yeah.
He was like, after I'm like, oh, all right, we ended it, and then I ended it, and I was just like, all right. I was like, how was that? And he goes, do you not know? And I was like, dude, I was in a fucking different zone. I was counting on you. And he was just like, he's racist and sexist.
Jason and I were in the chat, and we were so like, I think you and I just started having our own conversation. I feel like,
oh, dude,
I remember that.
He was talking about She-Hulk and like how it's all pro women. I'm like, I love She-Hulk. Like everything.
I was like, I had fun with it.
I'm like, it was awesome.
But that's
tag me in.
Fucking idiot sexist can't see. Like She-Hulk is supposed to be, yes, granted, a sexier version, but basically Deadpool. You know, it's like she can break the fourth wall. She knows the stuff. Like she's funny about it. If she wants to get laid, she goes out and gets laid. Like it is. She is not just She-Hulk, as in she's a strong woman. I mean, she's independent. I mean, she can fucking handle her shit, and she's like a competent person. And I hate the fact that and I'm not saying this for women out there. I'm not mansplaining to you guys. I'm mansplaining to the fucking idiots I've had on the show who don't get it. Not these guys. These guys get it. They're all good. We SnobNation has great people. That's all I'm gonna say. Join up.
Can we ever hear Sturdy's time travel series pitch yet?
Yeah, we started a good pitch.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to get kind of hammered, so I'm wheeling, man. So
you want to wheel it? You want to wheel it? All right, I forget where we are. I'm going to start us off. I'm going to go for a challenge. Let's pull it up.
Physical challenge.
Here we go.
From Mick Summers.
I can go get Impractical Joker's card game up there. 57. 57.
I do have Trivial Pursuit Horror Edition.
Oh shit, that'd be funny. 57. A show where experts try to debunk famous movie myths. A show.
Isn't that just what we do?
That's what we do, I guess. So a show where experts try to debunk famous movie myths. So like what? So somebody give us shout out a good movie myth we can talk about. We'll make it.
Well, let's just throw this one out here. All of us in a slasher. Guess who's gonna die first?
Me.
Okay.
I'm dying
Right.
first. It's me.
Nope.
You can die second, Sturdy. I don't make good decisions.
I'm way too toxic masculine to not be the
Yeah,
first.
but I think I know where Sturdy's going with this, and I can't
Yep.
disagree by Hollywood standards.
It's gotten better over the years, but it's usually like
LL Cool J.
All right, I got
survived
this.
through
I
all
got this.
Halloween.
I'll go with that, Sturdy. I'll go with that. I'll play that game.
Okay.
Well, we're gonna go big. All right, here we go. All right, give me a sec. I am a little stoned. Welcome back to Debunking Racism in Hollywood, and today we're talking about the horror myth that black people die first in horror movies. What are they talking about? Scream 2? Come on. Back in the 80s, they barely let black people in horror movies. So how could they die first? Where's the logic in it? We'll be back in a few seconds after these messages. All right, how'd I do? You got to give me that because that felt super racist.
Credit to Freddy 3 for
Ken Sagos.
yeah.
Yeah, he survived the whole thing.
Friday the 13th, part 5. A brother
Too bad he
survived.
dies in
Reckless
4
Reggie.
first, right?
Reggie the Reckless.
Death
No, he
in
didn't
4.
die.
Also in 4, or 5, the black girl doesn't die either. The diver, remember the swimmer?
Yes, she does. Didn't she?
No,
LL Cool J
died.
never dies. LL
He
Cool
didn't
J
die.
never dies.
Buster didn't die.
Busta Rhymes is
Yeah.
still alive to fight Mike Myers again.
You don't know that? The movie ends. You don't know.
There's no
That was-
black
that was-
people in Halloween. There's no black people in Friday the 13th. There's no black
Well,
people.
I'm going to tell you
Oh,
why.
a lot of black people in horror movies back in the day.
There's a black person in
Haddonfield, Mick. Come on, Field. We don't need to.
But
be in
that's the
everything
thing
else.
You know
like
that's based on a place in
Haddonfield-
Jersey.
Okay,
Really?
Yeah, that's where Deborah Hill was from. The
Oh,
Haddonfield, New Jersey. It's not.
He's right
It's,
about
Never knew that.
yeah, it's not in. It's not in Illinois.
That's cool. That's cool to know.
man, I'm
Oh,
trying
dude,
to
I
think.
can go all day on that. I fucking love that stuff. Like studying that, like
Yeah.
you know where all that little shit is.
Mick did a whole horror history on it.
On Halloween, yeah. Yeah, we both did. You're fucking right around the show. We just did Gremlins. That's out now for Christmas. So go check out.
Merry
Horror.
Christmas.
I love those.
trying to think-
I'm gonna draw you out of the horror. The writer fucking cave you're hiding.
I write for me.
I still want that fucking coffee table book.
I have
still
it.
want
It's written.
You never
my
interviewed
cocktail book,
me.
Yeah, I did. You wrote it up.
Oh shit, I did.
History of horror.
No, I didn't. I don't think I did. Did I?
Well,
check
somebody,
it
I
out.
have it. Somebody
He
did.
cut
I
me
don't
from
know.
his book. His editor said, "Fuck you, coffee table guy," or not coffee table guy. 'cause
Oh,
that's
so many cutthroat. Like that's it. Like,
make
in the
children.
'90s, it became a joke. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it really did.
'80s, it wasn't brought up, but like.
I maintain
But
'cause
so
there was no black
interesting
people
interview with
mainstream horror movies.
Kincaid from Nightmare 3. Kincaid, when he was placed into Nightmare 4, he told all of his friends and family, like, if you really want to see me in this movie, don't get popcorn, don't get soda, don't stop. Just go in, see the first beginning of the movie and leave because I am dying within 15 minutes.
Can I throw out a controversial statement? A racially motivated controversial statement.
Gotta ask Sturdy.
Yeah, I can ask.
No, I'm not going to get his permission. He'll be fine with it. My stance is that I am actually glad to a degree in how it went down. making horror movies back in the day, that there was, because it existed, that stupid racism within Hollywood existed. I'm not glad that existed. It forced people of color to have to make their own movies. And I will stand by this. The foreign horror and the horror made by people of color have a better evolutionary track of getting better and better, whereas white sort of designed horror movies don't really evolve well.
Out of conflict comes Genesis. Don't
outsmart me. Come on, can you at least give everyone the maintain? Let it maintain for a second. Like, hey, Mick said something maybe a little profound.
Oh, it's great.
Racist. It really depends on how high I was. I thought I did good.
Conflict. Out of conflict comes Genesis. That's a quote from a whole
Star
bunch.
Trek?
Plato.
Probably.
No, Plato was the first one to really say this. But Aristotle's Ars Poetica is the like true source for it. You need conflict to create new content. If you avoid conflict, you can't get it. So in terms of how new Genesis, in terms of films or scripts or fiction, the only way you can get it is from not avoiding that which is controversial, but embracing it and attacking it. And that's why you see this rise in the 90s of African Americans in positions of power in film, is a direct contrast to what took place before it, right? And the reason why, what you're saying,
a history teacher on your podcast.
Sorry, like this
I'm kidding. This is great.
No, so much stagnation has taken place in what you call white horror, and so much advancement has taken place in terms of like people of color horror, is because there's no conflict in white horror. It doesn't take place. Self-deprecation isn't conflict, ladies and gentlemen.
I still maintain that
at odds with it.
The best horror anthology is Tales from the Hood.
I need to watch the sequels.
Jason, you haven't seen it?
I've seen the first one. I haven't seen the sequels. But Dan, joke on you. You said Pluto said it. Mickey's dog doesn't talk.
You replace that with the A.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man. God. Well, we don't want to make you think too much.
Yeah, they're like, don't forget, we're either high or drunk. So
yeah. But hey, it's good. I'm glad to make your brain turning. Though. I'm glad to make your gears turning, thinking about horror and all that good stuff.
This wheel is fucking staying. This is a new thing. This wheel was the best thing we did. And now we can come up with topics that are different because I am coming up. Dan, if you can come up with questions, because I love these questions, but this is definitely a horror thing. I would love to broaden it if we can outside of.
We gotta broaden it a little bit. A lot of the questions are horror like
sci-fi. Yeah, and sci-fi.
Sci-fi would be good.
Man, actually, look how washed out I look suddenly. Why?
You know what? Let's spin the wheel, and the next person who chooses a question, we change it from horror to sci-fi.
Okay, I'll spin the wheel. It's my turn.
Sturdy's like, fuck you, dude, man. It's horror with Sir Sturdy.
All right, spin it. Let's go. I want a question.
Let me pull it up.
Nice. Sturdy's chilling.
Jason's all in, man. I love it.
Sturdy's chilling.
Well, what did you want? What did you want?
I want a question.
Okay.
Whatever's going to get me a sci-fi question or challenge.
Five. Number 5. Oh, that we answered this one earlier. Do you want to roll again? This is the practical effects question, and this is actually more toward. Well, I mean, you could sci-fi it, but I'll roll again.
My answer would be pretty much the same as 46. Good number, strong number.
Would famous sci-fi franchises demand world domination or settle for sci-fi themed amusement parks?
Man, I want sci-fi amusement park, but they'd probably settle for world domination. I think most of the people within science fiction want to rule the world. I think that's a pretty accurate statement.
Remember when I was a kid, I think it was like 17 or 18. I think it was senior year. Our senior class trip was to Florida. And we went to Disney, and they had like this alien encounter. It wasn't really a ride as much as an experience. That was kind of cool. I would have liked to see more shit like that. You know, maybe not exactly. And the Men in Black ride was cool too.
I like the Murder She Wrote thing at MGM. That's where I was when I was 8. I was at the Murder She Wrote.
No wonder you host a Matlock themed podcast, and I love it. Oh man,
That's dope,
dude. I am so.
My wife plays Matlock for our dog while she's gone.
Wait. Well, first of all, I hate you for that because your brother plays the scene.
Hello, Kathleen.
Hi, Kathleen.
Hi.
Kathleen. No. That's who's her husband's name? Oh shoot,
John.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's good to see you, Kathleen.
Yes, welcome. Thank you. What was I saying? I'm so fucking.
My brother plays the Snobs, but my wife
he plays the Snobs for his dog because Tink loves the sound of our voices.
That's hilarious.
So, oh Jesus, laugh out loud. Oh well, this was Kathleen. She said hi, and then Cutthroat says laugh out loud, Matlock, for your dog viewing, dude. I'll tell you what though, Matt Talk, which is Jason's
great podcast, by the way.
Matlock based podcast. It makes you want to watch Matlock. I will sometimes
good. It's
Pluto and turn on the channel.
You know, the show
they're at this episode.
The whole concept started as a joke on my podcast. Like John and I would bring it up, and the other guys would goof on us. And we'd restaurants, we'd ask the young waitresses, "Do you know what Matlock is?" And the guys in the podcast would hide their faces. They're like, "This 20-year-old doesn't know what the hell Andy Griffith is." And we're like, we do a podcast during COVID, and it blew up. Like, it's huge. Dude. And it's amazing.
Dude, can I just say, well, how far in are you? How
We're
far
in
away are you
season 4.
from finishing?
We're about to finish season 4. So we're 4 years in.
And it's how many seasons altogether?
9.
Oh, you're on this forever. You're on this for a good one.
Talks. Like we're either going to transition to like Murder She Wrote or Columbo afterwards.
Because I didn't realize how
Murder She Wrote.
We do it different because you do it episode by episode. So what we do on Warp Factor Fiction for Star Trek, because we're going in chronological order, I didn't want to do episode by episode. We like my kid would start doing it with his kid by the time we're done. And I'll be gone, you know, like, because it's just so much. So we do it, was it half season, you know, or sometimes with 10 episodes, we'll do a full season in one episode. So I have to say, like, because we do other rewatch stuff. Remember we did Tales from the Crypt, which I want to talk to you soon about that. Maybe a revival. Yes. Sturdy and I were talking about it too. And I'm sure let's get our onesies out, Dan.
The onesies.
So yeah, so we're gonna what was I saying? I'm a much better podcast host when I'm not, you know, talking about Matlock. Oh, so we talked about it, and we're gonna be done in like 18 months. And so because it's a lot of it's movies and such, but we were talking about where we're gonna take it afterwards, and I think
Transformers.
I think we're gonna. That's a cool one, but I think we're gonna go Doctor Who afterwards.
That's what I would do.
Because I just love it, and I want to get into it. And we sprinkle it in there because he watches Doctor Who, so we'll talk about it on there because it is canon to Star Trek. So it was like you could do it adjacent and move on, and then also cover Torchwood in that. So I don't know. I just geeked out for a minute talking about Doctor Who.
All good. I get it.
It's fun, man. It's fun to do kind of podcast about stuff you love, because we'll make fun of Matlock too when the show is not good.
When does that
and I love, yeah, you do. You guys keep it real when you know
that episode.
Knight Rider and the 18
Matlock?
Yeah.
Dick Van Dyke episode, season 2 or season 1, The Judge. Oh my god, it's awful.
Dude.
Really?
The A-Team was my favorite show as a kid.
Never seen it.
18?
You've never seen the A-Team?
I have no, Mick. I did. I just I don't know, man. Like, here's the thing about the A-Team.
Yeah, Kathleen, I love this new Doctor. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Dan.
It's okay. Like,
I just Doctor Who and Mick's like, let's talk about that. I get it, man. I get it.
I love Doctor Who. I can talk Doctor Who. I'll also talk A-Team. I never met George Papard, and I never met Mr. T. You know, so
I met Mr. T.
I want to meet Mr. T, but I worked with Frankie Velez when out in Hollywood. Wonderful human being, sweetheart of a dude. So it was just very cool to like be able to even say that. Like, I worked with a member of the A-Team. Defunct 5th season, whatever, but
I need to watch
Amy for
Jason. I think you guys need to do a Golden Girls podcast.
Nothing, John would. I do it. You want to do Golden Girls together? I've never seen it.
You've never seen Golden Girls?
Jason, I would do that with you. I would do a Golden Girls podcast every episode, thanks to my wife.
Oh my God.
My wife is the Golden Girls expert.
Dude,
Golden Girls
rewatch podcast just like this.
Dude,
just like
nursing
this.
home. I'm going to have the nursing home community on lock.
If we don't do it and have it in every episode we eat a piece of cheesecake, then I'm out.
I'm in.
Sturdy's in if we just do the cheesecake.
Jason,
if I've seen Golden Girls, I don't remember it. I do remember watching.
Sturdy will be here for every fucking episode and never watch one.
Sturd. Golden Girls was way ahead of their time as far as everything.
No. I know who the Golden Girls are. Listen,
Don Cheadle was in the spinoff.
Who said they haven't seen the Golden Girls?
Did you hear what Don Cheadle, what Betty White did for him?
I didn't actually know.
So when she died, Don Cheadle came out and said because he was so dark compared to her complexion, which is so pale white, they were thinking about replacing him because of how the lighting with the camera was working. So she heard that and started putting on darker makeup. And that's how he kept the job.
That's awesome. Good for her.
Yeah. And she said she didn't say anything to anybody or anything like that.
Golden Palace is very good, but...
So yeah, dude, I fucking, and Blanche was hot, so whatever.
But
I'd be the pool boy.
My wife and Mick has had 2 different scenarios on my show where he has interviewed or questioned my wife about the Golden Girls.
Oh, she knows them.
And she is a Golden Girls savant, and she would be a great guest if you and I were doing
we should do Miranda challenges if we do this, where we bring her on and like we watch an episode and maybe bring her on for like the last few minutes and ask her questions to see if she knows.
She would. I would bet a gajillion dollars that my version of this is Futurama. If you asked me anything about Futurama, I would say 99.9% of the time I could answer it. Unless you ask me about their weird ass language that I've never looked up because I'm not interested. Like
the Golden Guys podcast.
But
Sturdy's like, I'm not in on this. Stop talking about it with me on this show.
Oh, it's good.
I've agreed to nothing.
I could turn on an episode 14 minutes in and give her 35 seconds, and she will tell you the next line. You got to give her like a gap, like a little bit of a gap. She'll tell you the very next line that's going to happen, and that's how much she knows about the Golden Girls. And like, Futurama is the only thing. What's Diagnosis Murder?
You don't know what Diagnosis Murder is?
So it wasn't technically a spinoff, but Diagnosis Murder was spun off of Matlock because Matlock's character appears on Diagnosis Murder, but the character that Dick Van Dyke played on Matlock is different than the one he played on Diagnosis Murder.
Okay.
And Cutthroat says, I can't do it. I'm sorry. I cannot go back. I liked it when I was a kid. That's one franchise I cannot revisit. I tried, and it just.
I want to watch the
remake. I liked the new. the 2000 series, I loved it. I watched every episode, but the original is so hard to watch. It's like so here's what I compare to. It's a PlayStation 1 video game. Okay.
Yeah, those didn't age well.
That's it. Like, I have this nostalgia for like 8 and 16-bit games. And so Battlestar Galactica happens at a time where it's like, I just can't. It's not Star Trek or Star Wars, right? But it's also not something modern, and it's somewhere in between. And like, I have a hard go with it. I do. I tried after watching the new series, newer, I should say. But I can't. I don't know. It's just too corny for me. I couldn't do it.
I did, like I said, when I was younger, I liked it. You know, I liked Starbuck because it was Dirk Benedict and I loved A-Team. So being able to watch it, I was like, that's cool for me. And I don't mind cheesy, but like if I was going to rewatch a cheesy sci-fi show, I would do like Andromeda. You know, something that nobody really knows. I would do Babylon 5. Who talks about Babylon
5? Yeah.
You know, stuff like that.
What's the under the water one, Mick?
Under the water. Sea Quest.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Rest in peace,
something nobody's ever really looked at. Like,
I love Sequest growing up. So like stuff like that. I love the cheesy stuff you saw at night or just randomly out there. And it was always fun for me. And it leads me to this question. What sci-fi show would you from the past would you most like to see remade today? Not like sequels or anything remade. I'll start us off. My number one. Which one?
Andromeda.
That was a good one. My number one is Sliders. I loved Sliders. I thought that was the greatest concept for a show.
Well, my first pick would have been Quantum Leap, but they've given us a really good remake of that. Well, sequel technically. But my pick is going to be the Time Cop series because I'm the only person in the world that liked the Time Cop television series, and I would love it if they remade it.
Yeah. That would be Time Cop would be a cool one, a TV series.
Sturdy?
I would have to think about that. What's considered sci-fi, honestly, from what I've watched.
Well, I mean, you can go with a more horror tilt to sci-fi, you know, like Terminator to me is a horror movie. But of course,
Sarah Connor Chronicles.
Dude, did you see the new Reacher? Did you see the joke they did on Reacher season 2?
I've never seen Reacher.
Dude, watch it, it's fun.
So good.
You'll love Dan. You're just like me with the fucking back in the day. We've talked about this. Like, you're gonna fucking love Reacher the Brawler. So no, but there's Robert Patrick's in the second season, and they use aliases when they're going out. So like he's asking about the aliases. He's like, so he gave some old like Yankee from way back in the day. I don't remember the name he said. And then he goes, and Sarah Connor, who is that? And he goes, I don't give a fuck who Sarah Connor is. And it was Robert Patrick saying it. It was like a cool little nod, man. It was fun.
That's awesome. I'll use Star Trek for myself because I wasn't into it as far as the fandom of knowing the show like that. But it was something like if it's on, I'm not changing the channel, especially late at night. It was just something I always enjoy. Like even now, throw it on here and there on Netflix just to kind of throw it on and relax to. I do enjoy it. And I'll even start it's funny because I'll start from like season 1, episode 1, and then like turn it off as I start dozing. And then there's some episodes where I plan on doing that, but I fall asleep faster than I grab the remote. And next thing you know, it's like episode 17. I'm like, what the fuck? How'd I get here?
I will tell you,
Sarah Connor Chronicles is a nice pull, Dan, because that is probably the best Terminator since 2 that we've gotten. And then it was canceled. Like right as the show was getting good too, they canceled it.
I think 3 is an underrated film, but what would you guys think about? So stick with me for a second on this and erase the fact that we're all late X, early millennial. Okay, erase that for a second. Zoom that out. Try to erase it. I want a reboot of Buffy.
I'd be cool with that.
What kind of reboot?
Movie or show?
Continuation.
I want a series. I don't want a movie. I want a series. I want but what I want in terms of it is specific. I don't want the Joss Whedon vision of it. Okay?
Yeah, no, I get that.
I want something different. I want think about Buffy, the Chosen One, and everything, but I want a re-envisionment of it. And you can still have a female protagonist. I'm down with that. I love that female empowerment of the original series. I want a different vision than what Joss Whedon brought to the table in 1997. And
I'd almost if you were going to do a TV show version of it, okay, so Dan, in your vision in this, and I'm trying to picture it, that's why I'm asking as you go on. So in your vision of this, what kind of channel could you see this being made on? Are you talking like a CW, or are you talking like an HBO Max? Or are you talking,
Max? I want high budget.
That dark. Okay, cool. I'm on board now.
I want high budget, but I want something that I don't want it to be overly dramatic either. That's the key. Is I love the original series, but if as a fan of film, if you rewatch,
1000% yes.
Oh my God.
1000% yes.
Can there be anybody but
so
the thing that I have, the issue that I have with the original series, it's shot so darkly.
Night, buddy.
Have a good one, gentlemen. Have a good one, everybody.
Oh, you got to bounce, buddy. We can wrap it up here, but the original series is shot so dimly. Dimly is the word I'm looking for here. There's no lighting, Mick. And if you rewatch the series, I love it. I have so many feels about the original series. But the lighting is poor. And I think they could do more in terms of the characters now, and they can push more boundaries than even the original series did. And I know it's not sci-fi, so it's not within the realms of that question.
Oh, it works. Hey, that fourth season was very sci-fi.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The Initiative.
The Initiative completely, right? I would love to see somebody take an aggressive re-envisionment of what happened in terms of Buffy. Because so the comics, my issue with the comics is just a continuation, right? And I've checked them out. I've read some of them. They just continued that original vision of it, and it's good. I'm not saying it's bad. Oh my God, never. I want to see an aggressive re-envisionment of what that is and what it looks like. This is the other part is I'm a principal. I'd suspend the hell out of Buffy long before season 2. Long before that. What are you doing? No, you're out. I want them to challenge the vision of what that would take within the realms of what is known. An aggressive director taking that on with an aggressive protagonist. Could we actually, as a producer, could we get Sarah Michelle Gellar in as a producer for this?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Maybe Freddie Prinze Jr., maybe her husband, Freddie Prinze Jr. Could we get them in as a producer and kind of drive some of these ideas and push?
In fact, I think having a lot of the old folks that were like Charisma Carpenter and things like that,
Can we leave Nicholas Brennan out though? Because I'm so tired of hearing from him.
Dude, did you see the Tucker interview with him?
I can't hear him. He
wasn't invited to the anniversary for Buffy because David Boreanaz didn't want him there.
Yeah,
because he's got so many problems. But did you see, before we get back on this, because I think what you're saying is a great idea. I think it's the only way to reboot Buffy. But did you see that they just released a continuation written by Amber Benson, who played Tara? It's on Audible. It's like a series.
Yeah, I heard about it. I
didn't know about that. Comics are where I left off, so
I heard it's really good.
I almost want to still keep the kind of the essence of the movie too, in the idea of she's trying to be this normal girl who's chosen, and she's trying to lead almost this double life. It's almost kind of like a Clark Kent Superman scenario, but a high schooler who has to just try and figure this shit out with two identities. and all of these monsters attacking. Like, I like that element of if it's going to be a show, and you can go darker with that, but taking Buffy out of high school, that was the essence of who she was. That's why Buffy the Vampire Slayer worked, because she was just Buffy, a bubbly high school student who made it through, and like, you know, we followed her into college and afterwards. So like,
I'm sure there are a million podcasts, but like I got into it late. I'll admit this. So I miss it as a high schooler, right? I'm so busy with sports and academics and shit like that. Like,
Me too.
I mean,
no, I didn't get into it late. I got it right week to week.
I got into it way late. And, you know, I'm in college. A friend of mine gives me the box set for Christmas. And I sit down and I start watching, and I was like, this is so good.
Yeah.
And it's great writing. It's great directing.
Did you watch Angel too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, with the exception of season three was weak, but seasons 1, 2, 4, and 5 were great.
Yeah.
And the fact that season 5 got canceled was a detriment. I mean, like, they had a good thing going, but I think that, like, the narrative that takes place in that series is something that anybody can connect with. It's pseudo Shakespearean in terms of how it approaches tragedy and growth and human experience, and like re-envisioning it in an aggressive way with a budget would go. And that's the other part, is I want to put Buffy in situations that she's not. The other part is this, is like, I don't want it to be a teen drama. Like her obsession with Angel, for instance. Like
I don't want that. I want it more like Sabrina from the Netflix show.
Yeah. Yeah. And the real Buffy wouldn't have time. She wouldn't think about that. Like, I don't know. I had problems during the series where I'm like, why does she give a fuck about X, Y, or Z? And I get it, because in the time when it was created in CW and everything like that, like WB first, right? Am I right historically?
Oh, it was WB. Yeah, it was WB, and then it turned into
UPN.
But it turned into CW, which she went to UPN. Like, that show went to UPN.
Okay. So I get it when it was out, but now, this time, we can tell a story where you have a driven Buffy who is committed, but also individualistic. And like, I don't know, it's a different story. And I don't know. I want to see her embrace that to a level that we didn't get to see.
It would be cool if you had a story with Buffy. She's still young, maybe about 18, 19, but she's living in a world that feels like The Last of Us. And she's telling the story, and she's hunting. Like, that's her job now. She just goes and hunts. She's almost like a Ronin.
Ronin!
But she's telling the story. So the first season would be her thinking back and recollecting on how this started and how she just wanted to be a teenager and a normal girl. And so we're seeing her life transition from doing that to meeting, I don't know if you'd go with Giles again. I forget the Watcher's name, Donald Sutherland's name in the movie. So you go with somebody like her Watcher, and her building out that team that helps. And then by the time you get to, so the whole first season is just following her on this like Walking Dead type mission, killing monsters that kind of recollect back to
and seeking out the master, because she knows
stories. Yeah, she's trying to hunt down the master of it.
Yeah, this legend of the master who dominated Sunnydale, and here she is like seeking out like her destiny, and she says like, I can't help but avoid it, but at the same time I don't want it either. And
yeah, but when you get to that second season, you start introducing the master even more so now we're getting more of a in the future world, and now we're getting small recollections back to how the master took over, because the master takes over in the past at the end of it.
And you can tell flashbacks just like The Last of Us, where it's like, here's this little flashback, and now here's what's actually going on now. And like, yeah.
That's
HBO. Come on, sign us on, right?
Oh my God, we could tell the story. Jason, what do you think? Would you buy this?
I would. I'm in. I think it's the only way to reboot Buffy is to do it different.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And
please
and
don't, please, like, and that's the other part is like this touches on the reboot question. I think Cutthroat asked earlier is like, if you're gonna give me something that is what was, give me something that can be, and like, and that's why that like, I know people down on it, but the new Freddy, like, it didn't give us what was. It did not give us what was.
No, you're right. You're right.
Like, give me something. Give me new. Give me possibilities. Give me aggressiveness. Push the boundaries of what existed before you, and give me something that I can look forward to. And like, if it were Buffy or any other if it were a different sci-fi series, Star Trek. Some of my issues with like Picard and other things that have existed in my time period. Like, I need to watch. What did you say before we started, Mick? It was
Sabrina.
No, the Star Trek.
Strange New Worlds.
Strange New Worlds.
Strange New Worlds.
Yeah,
I want something. It's set it 400 years in the future.
That's Discovery.
Like, I want like.
Yeah, that's
it's
Discovery.
The same problem I had with the new Star Wars is like, can we?
No, it's not. It's 900 years in the future. Have you watched Discovery?
No, I haven't.
Oh, dude, you got to watch. So it takes place. The first 2 seasons take place, and you don't see it in the first 2 seasons. So just bear with me. So the first 2 seasons are setting it up, and then it's time travel at the end, and they go like 900 years into the future, where Starfleet doesn't exist anymore. It's been decimated. The Federation's been decimated, the whole 9, and they are rebuilding it because they have the only working ship that can warp.
Stop standing on the shoulders of what was and envision what may be. And like, then we will get something that's worth tuning into. Like Dune. Oh my God.
Don't talk about that original. The new ones, yeah.
The new one. And you know I love the original, but like,
I hate the original.
Dune takes something that was and says, okay, this was great. Now here is what could be. And like,
here, I'll translate for Dan. Dune taking something that was and says, this is terrible. We're going to make it better. Go ahead. Keep going.
I like, but like Frank Herbert would be proud of what they did with the first film. Like, not the 1983 Dune, not the 1983.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant that one. I'm like, I'm going to have to like argue this one, dude.
No. I love it, but I know what it is. I'm not ignorant of what it is. If you're doing stuff going forward, push, and demand your audience. Like, recognize that the point of creation is not to give people what they want, but what they can't envision. And that's different than what you want as a writer. You want to give your audience what they can't envision. And like, you can do that with something. So Dune, they couldn't envision what Dune became. Buffy could become something that you can't envision. A Ronin. Like, Ronin Buffy the Vampire Slayer is something that I want to tune into every fucking week.
And you don't even have to tell me a different world. You can make it the Hellmouth has opened up, and now this is her reality. This is where they live.
Just what it is.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you and if you were gonna add characters familiar to the TV show that we love, and I'm not saying you have to, it can be completely different. But if you were, and like you wanted to add an angel character, I think it would be awesome in the vein of what Supernatural is to add angel.
Fallen dark.
He's a fallen angel. That's what he is.
Can we make him something that's not boring?
Yeah, fallen angel. I think playing the angel aspect would be great. Oh, and he can, but I
came up with it, Jason, because of the 2 characters right behind your right ear. Like I dominated it for a second. I'm sorry.
What is it? Which one do you have?
It looks like Buffy and Angel, maybe.
Is that Buffy and Angel behind? Jason?
It is Buffy and Willow, I think. Yeah, Buffy and Willow.
Oh, cool.
Buffy looks a little bit like Buffy, but Willow looks nothing like Willow. She's got this crazy hair going on and everything else. But guys, I gotta get off here. I'm tired. I'm gonna fall asleep.
Yeah, 6 minutes.
Yeah, I think let's pull plug. Guys, follow us, subscribe, hang out with us. We're all awesome. This is Mick Nite. We have a good time. The Scene Snobs has plenty of different shows to keep you absurdly entertained. So, but you're not going to know that unless you like, subscribe, and hit that button. But all right, until next time, I'm Mick Manhattan. Take care, guys. Thank you for being here. Later.
Bye.